I guess that is appropriate for Starfield.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that later.
That's my Carl impression.
What?
Let's do Jimmy Neutron because blast
Oh,
off.
I never watched that show.
I hated it. Put it that way. People are gonna be all mad and stuff,
Yeah,
but
well, they are.
I never really liked it. And then Christian Slater's on there later on.
Of course he is.
He's on there, and he's on now. I did love Fairly Odd Parents. I still love it to this day. He's also on that.
Another one I never watched either.
And SpongeBob. I live for old SpongeBob. I don't care for the new stuff.
No, the old stuff is classic.
Yes. Um. Yeah, all of those were good. Yay! I'm gonna start drinking because I've had a crazy week.
Of course you are.
Even though I've already met my calories for the day.
Do I dare ask, like, what you've eaten or drunk to
No,
exceed those calories?
it's only eaten. I had a sirloin strip steak.
Noise.
Made myself, of course.
Of course.
I had a ham and cheese sandwich on gluten-free bread because I love it, but it's so calorie dense. That is huge. That actually had as much calories as the steak did.
Yeah.
And then
Well, they would.
Yeah. And then I had an egg and bacon sandwich, gluten-free sandwich for breakfast.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, do you want to know what I've eaten today?
Oh dear. Hopefully chicken soup and broth?
No.
Oh
No.
no. What?
2 slices of pizza that were left over from last night, and a slice
dear.
of cheese on toast.
Oh dear. Deary
I do
deary.
not feel hungry at all today.
Yeah, I bet you don't. But you're keeping it down, right?
Just about.
I can't get this bottle top off. Oh, what is going on here? No, no, no. You're not gonna have this.
I'm so glad this is being caught on the stream.
Oh no. This can't happen. Ah, there we are. Oh.
You just had to brute strength it like you usually
say,
do with anything.
I was gonna say, thank goodness I am She-Hulk. Oh. But yes. For our lovely list watchers who will join us soon, I am working on my Christmas makeup, which is why I look a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean, it's the middle of September, so I guess it's sort of the lead up.
Yeah, because I'm gonna drop another 2 dress sizes by the time Christmas rolls around, so I got to be looking like a superstar.
Do I dare ask what you're doing for Christmas that requires it?
Well, I have 2 parties already. Hopefully more.
Told you.
Yeah.
By the way, with that name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, that out of my throat.
Pete came up with that, by the way, not me. I was going to make a reference to Call Me Kevin.
Of course you were. Stop that at least.
I wish you would have let me.
Give me a sec. I'm just going to go and check this file.
Okay. But, yeah. It's going to be a low-key episode, as Pete is not feeling the greatest. Poor Pete. And I'm going to drink because I've had a miserable week. An awful, terrible, horrible week. Very bad.
I'm going to hear you again.
Yay. Sorry? Oh, I was just complaining that I had a terrible week.
Oh.
But not as bad as yours.
My week's not even been bad. It's just sucky the last few days.
But we will talk about that.
I guess so.
As when the show progresses.
Yes.
We'll give chat maybe 6 minutes.
6 minutes? Jeez, Jesus.
Well, you want to just go for it?
I can do. I don't care. I'm just like, sort of feeling like I should just get on with it.
Oh, Pete. Okay. Well, if you want to just get on with it, you don't want to give chat any time?
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Okay.
I'm being lenient. 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes.
You get 3 minutes, chat.
I'll compromise with half of the 6 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's literally the definition of compromise.
It is.
Yes.
It's also called bargaining.
That too. It's gonna be a great show, folks, full of energy and hijinks.
Speaking of which, whilst I've been ill, weirdly enough,
Mm-hmm.
I watched a couple of films back I haven't watched in a while.
What'd you watch?
The original Avengers
Oh, right.
and Infinity War.
Right. Is it still terrible? Ah, Centro has arrived.
How long do you need usually? 38 seconds?
Oh, can we not?
Ba-doom.
It's been far too long for me.
Sorry. Yeah, so weirdly enough, I watched those two movies for some strange reason. I fell asleep during the original Avengers. To be fair, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and I was struggling to sleep.
There you go.
It helped.
Yeah.
And Infinity War was yesterday afternoon whilst I was just flopped on the sofa. I also fell asleep.
Oh, goodness. Well, did the nostalgia hit you?
Well, Infinity War was still great at the end.
Yeah, I bet it is. I probably should rewatch.
The last good Marvel movie.
Well, I mean...
The last actual good Marvel movie.
I mean, I don't know. I still love Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Guardians 3 is fine. It's like, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just, I think, well, not anything wrong. Criticisms that I have of it is that it's too long. It doesn't need to be that long. Yes, I know what you're thinking.
But that might be good. Because people might get the wrong idea about me.
It's a fine movie. Well acted. Soundtrack felt a bit out of place at times.
Right.
I think it's just because how to explain it. The first two movies, the music was baked into the story.
Oh,
to some degree.
I see what you're saying.
Whereas now he has access to like that Zune, doesn't he? So he can just listen to whatever the fuck he wants whenever.
Right. That is
I gotta forget not to swear.
Oh yeah, but that's actually a good point, Pete.
The soundtrack feels disjointed as a result of it.
Yeah. No,
I always felt the Mantis's choice at the end of the film was quite weird. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it yet.
Hopefully everyone's watched it by now.
Yeah, you can't take that chance though. It's still a reasonably, relatively new film, so I have a limit with that sort of thing. I think other than that, it's all right. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
No, I'll sing its praises on one particular thing, is that the High Evolutionary is the best Marvel villain that they've done in a long time.
I do agree with that. I definitely think so. And the actor's really good.
Yes.
We can't say his name, but...
No.
I mean, we literally physically can't say his name.
No, I definitely can't.
But I think he's a wonderful actor.
Yes. Alright, 2 more minutes. Just go to quarter past.
2 more minutes.
Yeah. Although Sencho's saying he didn't need those 3 minutes, he's now getting some extra time for foreplay.
Why does my life have to suck so bad? Or not suck, as it goes?
I'd say nothing. Nothing more, anyway.
Hopefully, I will lose weight, turn into a beautiful princess, and somebody will come and say, I think that you're pretty cool, Kylie. Let's hang out.
Maybe.
We can but hope.
Yeah, I need a haircut.
You had one pretty recently, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
I had one before holiday in July.
Oh, okay. See, time moves very strange for me.
I know. All the grey showing up properly on the side of my hair now is horrible. Can't be covered anymore with big headphones.
Whatever. If you hate it that much, you could dye it.
No. I will not debase myself by dyeing my hair. What do you think I am?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying anything. It's anything that can get me cancelled at least anyway.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh,
Oh, Cincho
thank you,
just
Sencho.
subscribed.
Oh,
Woo!
tier 1. For 2 months. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I haven't seen you for a while as well. Hope you've been
It's been a couple
keeping
of weeks,
well.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very awesome. If you
I
haven't
don't know.
noticed, Pete's a little under the weather, but we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, we will. Sencho, you might be interested to hear that at some point during the season one's lifespan, probably towards the end of it, I will be doing a large review. I might need your help, so expect a message.
Oh, looky
Uh,
there. He was
oh, okay.
recovering from COVID.
Recovering from COVID. Brilliant. Wonderful stuff. I checked yesterday. It's definitely not that.
Ugh.
Not at least, anyway. Could check again. Um, anyway. Yeah, well,
Anyways,
that's now the extra 2 minutes, so I'll get my recording going. So,
let's get cracking.
yes.
Do you
Right.
think they call it Kraken if they go and hunt the Kraken? We're going Kraken.
Great.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast, episode 177. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm here with my ever-present and slightly under the weather co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello. I'm going to try my best to get through this.
Pete is now trying out his new career as an R&B singer.
Not auto-tuned.
But yes, Pete is a little bit siggy, so a little bit low energy, but that's okay. I can step it up a notch and make it up more energy. Yeah.
Which is also not going to help considering it's a news episode and I need to do a lot of talking.
Yeah, Pete's gonna do a lot of talking because it's like right up his alley.
Some of it is, at least.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But to get started, I do like to ask everybody. I've been watching a lot of SpongeBob, and Sandy really.
Why?
I don't know. I was just missing my childhood real bad this week.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of childhood stuff. And so Sandy's kind of in my brain right now. So
Yeah, I did wonder why you suddenly gone all random Texan again.
Yep. But having said that, yes, to start this off, oh god, I'm not gonna be able to pull myself out of it. Me, this person here, like to ask our guest who we do not have this week. So I will ask Pete how his week has been. Pete, how
Okay.
week been? You.
My week's been alright, actually, until, weirdly enough, Friday evening when I had Rachel round and then suddenly just got randomly ill.
Oh dear.
Just started with the sore throat, spent the night on the sofa, and then just evolved from there.
Oh
So
dear.
not great, but
Oh.
yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, Cincho in
Right.
chat says, "Hope you'll feel better soon, Pete. Don't forget to parry next time something tries to hit you." Winky face.
Very true.
I
Thanks,
think
Sancho.
that's good life
Yeah,
advice in general, but yes.
it is. Yeah, but how's your week been?
And also Nana says, "Get well soon, Pete."
Thank you.
Look, I'm gonna be just straight up front. My week's been crap, but it doesn't mean it's gonna stay crap. So
Okay, so if you want to talk about it, why has it been crap?
it's just one of those weeks where like everything just is crap. Like everything. What is it? When it rains, it pours. I think is how the
Yeah,
saying goes.
yeah,
That type of
apparently
thing.
so.
Yeah, and it really, really, really like this is kind of a we got this little tiny mini segment. Why do mine always turn into that? But you know, a lot of my friends are moving to their various stages of life. And I'm not there yet. Not through choice. Well, a little bit through choice. But just circumstance. And it just really hit me. And I just like I couldn't pull myself out of it. But so I played Minecraft.
That usually helps.
It did help a little bit until my ADD took over. So I watched a lot of Call Me Kevin this week. Just totally binged
And
mostly his same
clearly, a
stuff.
lot of SpongeBob too.
A lot of SpongeBob, just some comfort stuff. Just like be hitting that comfort stuff, ignoring all my messages.
Of course, you have been. But sometimes that's nice though. Like not ignoring the messages, of course. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes you need those sort of times to just chill, do your own thing, and just reprocess, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. You just gotta, I think for some people, mostly introverts, as most of us watching and participating in the show are, I think just retreating into a cave for a little while, it's what we need. That's what I think
Yeah,
anyway. Um,
sometimes.
but we pick ourselves up by our own bootstraps and
Yeah,
move forward, onwards and
yeah.
upwards, moving forward. But what, Pete? What were you gonna say?
Nana's put in the chat. He said, whenever I think about those things, I play Genshin to cope. Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, we all
Which,
have to do something that's just, something for comfort that we enjoy.
oh yeah,
Take our mind
definitely.
off things.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah.
Hmm.
Since you want to read what Central wrote, because that's.
I have a big list of comfort series that I watch at least a few of every single year. It's kind of like me with Mario World. I play it at least once a year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Weirdly, and I did not expect this to happen, but Hannibal has become one of my comfort series. That's weird.
Not really. Like you like what you like.
Yeah, but it's just like murder husbands, yay! Um,
No, one of my comfort series was Dexter.
well,
Well,
there you go.
first four seasons at
I
least.
was gonna say I need to rewatch because I only watched like the
Oh,
first
don't
season.
bother.
Oh,
Honestly,
is
don't
it
bother.
okay? Did
No,
I?
the first season's brilliant. Like the first four seasons are still great. It's just anything after that is just abysmal.
Oh dear. Well,
Like,
I
and I mean really abysmal. I
like
forced
bad.
myself through them
Oh
just to
no.
say I watched them all.
Well, I might have mentioned this last week or the week before. I'm not sure that I started watching Gotham. Oh, I did mention that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
You've been on the DC TV show thing
Yeah.
for some reason.
I'm still not a DC girl by any means, but I have to be prepared that if someone enters my future, no, someone enters my life in the future, and they're a DC fan, I gotta be up on the up and up. What if I
I
meet?
will send. Okay, I will send you a video that I watched earlier that details about 70 years of Batman.
Well, now I could probably do like I'd probably know enough Batman stuff.
Oh, even there was stuff in there that I had forgotten about. So
Mm.
I'm gonna send it to you. It's about an hour long.
Oh,
Not
okay.
bad. Condenses it pretty well, actually.
Mhm. Wouldn't that be terrible if I find my soulmate and they're a DC fan?
It'd be worse if they're an IDW fan.
Which what?
IDW
What's IDW?
or Dark Horse, or this is just
Oh,
a
okay. Well, I
competitive
can.
comic
No,
company
I
that
can
just have
handle
basically
image
next to
and
nothing.
yeah, I can handle it. Hamel. I can. Oh, Mark
Hammer.
Hamill. Yeah. Someone put a picture of Mark Hamill side by side with Sebastian Stan. Um, they do look alike. They're thinking that he should do a prequel.
Let's not.
I
I
don't
do not want Disney doing anything to the original trilogy. Please don't.
Oh well,
Please
something,
never ever do that.
something's gonna happen
Let's
there.
hope that George Lucas at least put it in the clause of the contract of sale that you do not touch the OT
Uh,
ever.
who knows with those
Bloody
guys
hope so. Anyway.
with the King Mouse.
Uh, anyway, I'm going to let you talk for a bit because my throat hurts. So let's
Okay,
talk about Starfield for a bit.
okay. Poor Pete. Aw.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So my thing about Starfield is I haven't really played much since last week. I've played about an extra hour. Um, at least managed to sort out my Xbox and got it downloaded on there, which was good. I didn't. Did I tell you? I did tell you the reason why, but I didn't put it on stream. I'm not going to say why on stream. It was so stupid. Um, but I got it downloaded. And at least my save went over to the Xbox as well, and I got myself out of that horrible save problem that I did say about. I got through that
Right?
combat all right.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Played another hour or so and flew around for a little bit and then kind of got bored and just stopped. I
Well,
have got a load of. I did go on the Xbox to download a load of games that are coming out over the next week, including Payday 3 and Lies of P.
yes.
So
Um,
I'm going to try a few out over the next week.
well,
No excuses, me and you playing Payday.
hopefully.
No, we are. No excuses.
Yes. I'll dig myself out of this hole.
Good
But
luck.
so Starfield, yeah. Ain't no secret that um I like what Central just asked. But there's no secret that I am a Bethesda fangirl. Big time. I told my roommate, flatmate, housemate, I don't know, whatever British people call it, that I gave some predictions. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, the like attributes, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and it's gonna make me be like
It's going to
almost
do this,
OP.
this, and this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will be rich.
Like it's the usual case with you with Fallout or Elder Scrolls games.
Mm-hmm.
You know their formula.
I know the formula, and I said I'll be rich in like no time. Money will absolutely have no value to the in the game to me, and I will struggle to find certain like building things. Then I
Mm-hmm.
will have to make a supply chain that will make me have an overabundance. So, two of those three things have happened so far. You can imagine. I'm already rich beyond my wildest dreams. I've already paid off my house.
Brilliant.
I don't. It's just. It's the same. Like there should be. Let me get on my little soapbox for a second. There should be a kind of like comfort in the fact that it's a Bethesda game and I can predict it and I can do all these. You know what I mean? Like as we were talking about comfort earlier.
Mm.
I'm bored of it.
That's the problem. Is that
It's the same thing.
there's comfort and then there's generic.
It's so. I think generic's probably a pretty close descriptor. I don't like any of the companions. See, that's the thing. Fallout 4, which was not a masterpiece or anything great until I modded it, but at least it had McCready, who I was absolutely in love with. He's so adorable and I love him. I wish he was real. But outside of that, I didn't care for any of the companions there. And of course, New Vegas. I had Raul the Ghoul and Eddie. They are the best. I love them so much. I don't love any of these companions. Not even the gay cowboy that everyone's like, oh, Kylie's gonna love the gay cowboy. I don't love any of them. Maybe I'm just jaded. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not Bethesda. It's me.
Maybe it is, or maybe you're just bored of their
They're formula.
formula. Let's call it formulaic design at this point. You've gone through the last 4 games and you've predicted it every single time to the point where it's become stale and tired to you.
It has. And I hate that because I love
Which
Bethesda.
I mean, their facial designs
Oh gosh.
leave a lot to desire, but
It's
other
so
than that,
bad this time round. And
oh, some of them are really bad. Yeah, I've seen some bad ones.
I will say
It's
this.
funny.
I had mentioned this. I just poured wine straight down my shirt. Great.
Brilliant.
I mentioned this during one of the previews we watched or whatever. I do love the Adoring Obsessed Fan. I mean, was it the Adoring Fan? Which is a callback to Oblivion. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. And there are some little Easter eggs and in jokes. But, overall, it. Okay, I'll say this. Then we'll move on. The thing that keeps me bringing me back. Oh, Mike Tindo, hello. The thing that keeps bringing me back to, let's say, Elder Scrolls and Skyrim is the fantasy setting. I love that. I love elves. Elves since I was 12 or 13. I was writing fan fiction in my head. Wait, I guess fan fiction. Not of any particular genre. Just I loved elves. So my first stories were about elves. So I love the fantasy aspect. Fallout. Oh my gosh, I'm absolutely obsessed with post-apocalyptic stuff. It's some of my favorite movie genres, some of my favorite book genres, game genres, all of it. So there's that. I love outer space. Don't get me wrong. As I said, the new Battlestar Galactica is one of my favorite television series ever. It's boring. It's just not. It doesn't feel very spacey. Does that make sense? I do like the
No,
dog fights,
I know what
but
you mean.
yeah, it's just like um.
Yeah, I'm not going into that comment. I'm not reigniting that again.
Sincho has got some zingers in here. They're pretty good. Um,
We may get to the quote unquote Unity one later if we've
yes,
got time.
but oh yes. But anyway, oh gosh, I see that. But anyway, so believe it or not, although I have to say, one of our episodes a year ago, which first of all is insane, but the episode where we were talking about Starfield and all of our opinions changed.
Hmm.
Since then, I've been kind of like, oh no, oh no. Like, I wanted it to come out, but I also was like very wary of it,
Hmm.
very cautious. And yeah, it's it's boring. It's boring. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm a betrayer.
You're not a betrayer. You just know what you like now.
Todd Howard, I love
And
you forever.
to be honest with you, like what's annoyed me the most, and I guess this is just a minor contrivance. It's just so many load screens, so many. Like it's not really as fully. I know you can fly from planet to planet and constellation to constellation. Fine, that
Yeah,
takes too long.
it it is weird. The loading times are weird. I don't care for those. It
They're
doesn't.
at least
Mhm.
tiny. That helps, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me the way they've done the planet hopping because it's very much like Destiny to me. Um,
Hmm.
but I know that that's a big complaint among people. I do
Yeah.
I do enjoy the space battles, but that's because I'm going to enjoy space
The,
battles
the
no matter what.
the space battles are rather fun, actually.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
But
I just got
like,
no real want and desire to sort of keep going back to it.
well, that's the thing. Like, I have no motivation. Like, I have all the money, all the money. I have all the money, and I have no motivation. Like, okay, so I can buy a ship. Okay, how's it different than the ship I'm flying? There's no real marked differences in these ships. The guns aren't even that much like they're different, but they're not. I don't know. They're just it's just Fallout in space, but without the really cool post-apocalyptic existential crisis that you have or that I have when I'm
Mm,
wandering the wasteland. I don't have.
fair enough.
That's really what it is. Flying from planet to planet, I don't feel that fear or that loneliness that you
Mm,
get when you're quote the lone wanderer, you know.
yeah.
But that's just the me. Anyway, I think we're going to move to the meat of the topic of this week's show, which, if
Yes.
you're here, you probably know what it's going to be about. Pete,
You probably know why, yeah.
yeah, you should clear your throat and get wow, that that sounded so bad, but I did not mean it that way. I meant it cute.
I know. Fine.
But yes, I'm throwing this over to Pete to tell you why we're really here. Pete, catch us up.
Okay, so for some reason, Sony and Nintendo decided on the same day to compete. One of them had a state of play, which is Sony, and the other a Nintendo Direct. So we're going to go through both of them. If we've got some time at the end of it, we can discuss a certain other thing that's going on, but we'll get to that. So we're going to start out with the state of play. So this actually aired at about 10 p.m. our time. So this was after the Nintendo Direct. And was roughly 30 minutes, or just shy of.
Yeah. So that's
So
kind of a middle thing because can
yeah,
they've been 45 minutes before.
45 minutes to an hour as
Yeah.
their longest, I believe. So yeah, they sort of when they announced it, people went a bit overboard, as they tend to do. They tempered expectations by releasing a blog post not long after by saying this is going to focus solely on previously announced stuff and mostly on third parties. So, yeah. With that said, let's get into it. I
Let's
don't
get
know if you watched it.
No, I did not watch the
Okay,
Nintendo
okay, so
Direct.
all of this is going to come to you
This
as a
is all
surprise,
new.
I guess.
Yes.
Cool. So how are you with physics-based games, say Octodad or Goat
Oh,
Simulator?
I mean, I'm terrible. Did you really just ask that, Pete? Did you really just ask that?
I did it as a joke. I know exactly your
Yes.
full opinions on them.
For our listeners and watchers at home, that is one of my favorite genres, and those are two of my. I'm not gonna say Octodad's my favorite game, but it's sure up there. But yeah, Goat Simulator is my way favorite. Love physics games.
Okay, so if I was to tell you that there was one coming to the PS5 next summer,
Whoa.
would you be interested in buying a PS5 for it?
Um.
However, if I was to tell you the name of the game first,
Yeah, try that.
it's called Baby Steps.
There's a VR game called that.
I don't know anything about that.
Are you a baby in it?
No, you are not. You are a grown man walking along obstacles along a mountain track.
Oh goodness. Oh dear. Oh
And
dear.
you have some very easy obstacles to overcome, and you seem to fail at every point. Let's be honest, this was a weird game to start a state of play out with.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Yeah, it's
not
kind of
reading
a.
that comment until later.
ah.
I might have to
Ah.
wait until after the watershed for that one.
Oh my goodness, but it's also true.
I
Uh,
know.
hey, look, Saints Row did it, but with the other body part,
Yes,
jiggle physics.
yes, I know. I'm aware. I'm
Yeah.
aware. So yeah, I would say check this out if you like physics-based games. This was a bit crap. I was trying not to swear there.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Anyway,
That's
yeah,
that's a
interesting
weird
way
one
of
to
starting out.
open. Yeah, it's a weird one to open
Yeah,
with.
they continued the weirdness with
Uh-huh.
stating the Roblox is coming to PS5, which they had already stated in a blog post 2 days before.
Right.
Yeah, so
The
that was a bit
chat is
weird.
great.
I know we're gonna get to that in a bit. Anyway, Sony seemed to remember um they had a VR device
Oh, did they
because
finally
they showed
remember?
2 games.
Oh, that poor neglected child in the corner known as
Yeah.
PSVR 2. Ah,
Okay. So Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord, which
okay.
actually does look really cool,
Right.
comes out October 26th.
Very
It's
good.
a 4-player multiplayer game. With,
Do,
it looks fun. Looks fun.
are there four people that own a PSVR 2?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I do believe so. Anyway, uh, to a game that they've shown a lot of, but still not shown an actual release date for some strange reason. Resident Evil 4 Remake VR.
Ooh, yeah. No, I'd heard this one. About this one.
Winter 2023. Thanks, Capcom. I don't think this is the main point of this. This was just basically stating that it's still out there because we got a trailer for the Separate Ways DLC
Right.
for Resident Evil 4 Remake,
Yeah. Oh, hello, Mark.
which is coming out September 21st, so in a couple of days' time, next week actually. So
Very
not
cool.
bad.
Excellent.
Also, Ada and Wesker are coming to Mercenaries on the same day.
Excellent.
Very good. Open world games was next on the agenda.
Ooh. I do love open world games. Can't deny that.
I mean, December 7th, we've seen this a lot of times. It's a game I'm not buying. Thanks, Ubisoft. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
Well,
It looks so boring.
people love it.
I know. Oh dear.
People
Looks so
love
generic. Ubisoft game. Looks so generic.
They love them blue aliens.
Oh, apparently they're doing another trailer for Separate Ways tomorrow.
Oh.
Oh,
Very good.
oh yes, because of the Capcom showcase. Of course they are. Yeah. Right. Next up, they had Ghost Runner 2, which is out on October 26th. There is now a demo out on PS5 for it.
Very good. Very good.
So next up, we've had a lot of rumors recently going around about a revision to the PS5 console.
Right.
What they revealed is not a revision to the PS5 console that's been rumored. It's just a new set of colors. So red, blue,
Oh,
and silver, and that includes the controllers as well.
oh, Sony, what are you doing?
I
Trying to
have
beat
no idea.
Nintendo.
It was weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was also another very, very, very weird thing was, do you happen to remember many, many years ago, during E3 as such, when we used to have games that were live showcased
Yes,
with
I do.
clearly, clearly genuine and authentic gamer talk?
Oh, yes.
Because
Yes.
Helldivers 2 decided to bring that back for
Oh
some
my.
strange reason, and it
Oh,
was as cringe as you remember it ever
I
being.
love cringe.
I would say, just for a hint of nostalgia, go back and
I
watch
might
that
have
part of
to.
it just for a laugh, because I
Oh,
did get a good laugh out of how unbelievably shite this was.
that's so good. Was it intentional or was it unintentional? Which
I have no idea. I
either
have
one's
no
great.
clue. Either way, it was bloody awful, but it was like that good kind of bloody awful that you could at
Yes,
least appreciate.
like the room.
Yeah, yes, that kind of thing. Anyway, Spider-Man 2 got a new trailer. It's not really that new. It was just
Right.
highlighting a lot of stuff that's going to be in the game, including lots of color combinations and suit combinations and everything as such. They were showing the new boroughs and stuff like that. The
Cosmetics.
wingsuit as well. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I've got that game already pre-ordered, and I'm going to play the absolute heck out of it. I also booked 2 days off of work for the weekend after. Look, Mario and Spider-Man come out on the exact same day. I had to choose one, and I'm choosing the easier
Oh
game of the
my
two,
gosh. That is so
so I can have
funny.
those 2 days off to just play Spider-Man.
That is funny.
Anyway, right. Next up, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn.
Right.
Didn't really see much about this. It's November 9th. To this point, I've sort of glazed over.
Like, I kind of like Tales of Arise. Like, I haven't played it, obviously, but I've watched people play it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I've seen some people playing it. It does not a game that sort of interests me at all, but it does look nice
Yeah, it looks
at
really
least.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next up for games that do look nice that I probably will never play is Honkai Star Rail. It's coming to the
Oh gosh.
PS5
Oh
on
dear.
October 11th.
Yes.
Let's be honest, I'll never play it. I said
No,
probably the
it's not
same
your.
thing about Genshin Impact, so
Yeah, that's not your thing. It's just not.
no, it is not. Speaking of things that are probably not going to be my thing either, Phone Stars.
What is that?
This, this is essentially Sony's answer to Splatoon.
Oh, but Pete, don't you want to play that and compare it?
Not really, because the game looks very generically boring.
Okay.
But there is at least an open beta coming out this month, so I can at least check it out, I guess.
Right.
It may pique my interest, but at this moment, I'm not interested. But
Uh huh.
we're at the closer, and this is the final game that we saw.
That's insane to me, but yes.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
We've been waiting a long time for a trailer on this
Yeah.
particular game, and we got. Not only did we get a trailer, we got one hell of a trailer because
Ooh.
this has essentially made everyone think that the PlayStation State of Play was not terrible.
Oh
And it's
gosh.
mostly because this game came up.
Oh goodness.
I think that tells you where I was with this State of Play and how bored I was watching it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like it until this dropped.
Yeah. So essentially this is a sequel to remake that came out a couple of years ago. It's the retelling of Final Fantasy VII's story in a remade way, let's say.
Reimagining.
Reimagined. It's fully remade, but they went into a lot of detail about all the kind of things you're going to see in this game.
Oh wow.
Oh, there is a lot.
Oh
There was
goodness.
so by way of the trailer, we've got hints of the potential fights in this game of both Emerald and Ruby weapons.
Right. Okay.
Um, you see Cloud on a Segway. Um, there- I'm trying to remember what else was in here. Oh, Chocobos being able to climb mountains.
Oh.
Well, you know how you see how the different coloured chocobos had different
Yes.
abilities. They've
Yes.
actually fully fleshed that out, where the different colours have actual abilities.
So a little
And
Skyrim
the
jumping.
black chocobo can actually climb mountains.
Oh, that's so
That is
okay.
really really cool. They
That
showed
is
chocobo
cool.
racing, the gold saucer.
Ah, that's what I cared
Um,
about.
they
Oh.
also showed probably one of my favourite characters from Final Fantasy VII, very briefly, and didn't show the face. Vincent.
Everyone's waiting on Vincent. Mmm.
Yes. So
Mmm. The
that is
vampire.
showing
Mm.
the level of breadth that they're going for this kind of game. If you played the original Final Fantasy VII, they're going into essentially what is going to be the vast majority
Th-
of Disc 2.
I was gonna say this is
Well, Disc
okay.
1 and 2, let's be honest.
Yeah, like again, I've reiterated this story so many times. Bought Final Fantasy VII in a pawn shop. It didn't have this two, so I think we discovered that because wherever the Golden Saucer was on, which I think was this two.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
So I just kept grinding until I could afford to get another copy, because back then it was very expensive. And
Yeah.
when I got this two, I was so OP, but it didn't matter because the Golden Saucer was awesome and Kate Sith was in there. Did you know? First of all, tangent time. Kate Sith is an Irish myth, not
Oh,
Japanese.
well, actually, if it's anything to go by in this game, it's Scottish.
Yes, but well, we'll say Celtic.
Celtic.
We'll say Celtic. But yeah, that really blew my mind because like obviously I thought forever it was Japanese just because I was a kid and it was a Japanese game. But yeah, that's my favorite whole point because don't you get to you get introduced to Red? What's his face? Red 13.
Yes.
And I love Red 13. He was so cute and lovely, and the
Yeah,
whole
so
village was awesome. And Grandpa.
So yeah, so weirdly enough, obviously in remake, you do get introduced to Red 13 quite early on. You do in the original game anyway.
Uh huh.
But he wasn't playable in
Yes,
that
that's
game,
right.
so he's going to be playable in this one, obviously, and then everyone else that was featured after that point so far is playable.
The music was so cool at that point on the original game, and then Yuffie, you run into her or Yuffie in the desert. I pronounced it Yuffie because again,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was just reading subtitles. Uh, but yes,
Oh,
I'm actually excited for that. That's my whole favorite
uh,
moments.
mm. Now there is something very interesting that's come out as a result of all of this, though.
What's that?
It's one thing I didn't notice because by the time the trailer was done, I was done. So I was like, I didn't really stick around after the point the game was shown. So anyway, they announced the release date as the 29th of February.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, weird date.
That is weird.
Yeah, but anyway,
Wait.
because it's a leap year,
That's
it's
leap
29th.
year, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, next year it's a leap year, so it's the 29th. Anyway,
uh,
what was also revealed is it is a PlayStation 5
well,
exclusive for 3 months. However,
uh-huh.
there's been a lot of speculation as a result of one other small announcement they had at the end of the trailer was that a double pack is coming with Remake and Rebirth. Now,
Oh.
could this double pack be the emergence of said Xbox version after the fact?
Oh.
Could they be
Maybe.
prepping the double pack for because they didn't show any release date stuff for it?
That's a good point,
Could it
actually.
be could it be for the potentially rumored Switch 2 as well?
Oh.
I don't want to go into those rumors. Don't get me started with those.
Well, we will have to address them at some point,
We will,
Pete.
but not now. Not now. I need to be more passionate,
Oh goodness. Uh huh.
more energetic.
Yes. Okay. Yes. You are not wrong.
Mm.
That is true.
So yeah, I'll give my thoughts on this. This was absolutely terrible, and only redeemed by Final Fantasy. Oh, Nana, please.
Okay.
God.
Banhammer.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, it was terrible. It was really terrible. I was not a fan.
Yeah. Well, that's crap.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII remake Rebirth was decent though. I will
Yeah,
take that.
absolutely.
Anyway, going on to something else. I'm not going to reveal what I thought of it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, wait, hang on. Oh yeah, cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's just having a look. So Nintendo Direct, like I said, aired on the same day, but this was about 3 p.m. UK time,
Oh.
and as is usually the case with Nintendo, it's around 40 minutes.
Right.
I
Okay.
think it's a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
So, okay. So they announced previously that it was literally only going to cover everything up until winter, for winter.
Right.
Now, obviously, winter does include March 2024 as well.
Does it?
Just bear that in mind. Okay.
Okay.
So if with that being said, you haven't announced too much other than Mario, like,
Right.
and Mario RPG for the next few months. What would you think is the best way to come out swinging and show? Yeah, we got a holiday game apart from Mario. What would
Uh.
you do?
Well, I would definitely come out strong.
Or what would you show?
I would show. I mean, if you know Mario's coming up later, I would show something, strong. Like, I don't know what else is coming out. I was gonna say no. Breath of the Wild 2's already out. Splatoon
Yep.
4's already out,
Well, Splatoon 3 is out.
or 3.
But
I meant 3.
you're along the right lines there. Because they showed Splatoon 3's expansion pass side order.
Okay, well, see, my next thing was gonna be DLC. So okay,
They've already
okay,
had a piece of DLC, so this is the second part of it. It's coming out in spring at 2024.
all right. Well, yep, that is what I would do.
So
Wow.
this looked kind of like a horde mode,
Oh,
where
oh,
you have
cool.
more equipable items that have different status effects and played like a MOBA, let's say,
Uh huh.
to some degree. It was a bit weird, and the art style was a bit strange. It was not very colourful like is the usual standard.
Oh, that's strange
It
because
was
that's
more
what
black and
it's.
white.
Wow, because that's what they're
Yeah, the
known
way that the
for.
trailer was, it was kind of cool. But
Hmm.
I sold Splatoon 3 a long time ago, and I don't really care.
Yeah, which surprised me, but yeah,
And I didn't think the game was very good.
right. Yeah, I remember you
Splatoon
saying
2 was
that.
much better.
Yeah, see, I have to take your word for it though.
Hmm. Anyway, so as is usually the case with a Nintendo Direct, they will at several points in the show go into general headlines and short trailers as a result.
Hmm.
So first up, we got something that had been rumored. People were talking about in the lead up to the show about a potential new Donkey Kong game.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I'd
Now,
heard mention of
people's
that.
imaginations went with, oh, this could be 2D Donkey Kong. This could be
Mm,
3D Donkey Kong.
yeah.
Oh no, this was what everyone's worst nightmare was a remake of the GBA game Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
Oh no!
Coming out February 16th, 2024.
Is it okay? You say remake,
It is a literal remake
but like,
of the puzzle game.
yeah. Oh goodness. Oh, why did they? Why did they go with that?
I
Even
will
though.
get. I'm gonna get to my
Okay.
thoughts about it later. I think
Okay.
all
Cause.
based on everything on the pages here that I've got 2 pages worth of stuff because I wrote
Mhm.
them down. I've come to a significant conclusion at the end. I will get to that, but
Okay.
I want to hear your thoughts as they go through, though.
Okay.
As a non-Nintendo fan, what would you think of
Well,
all as thing goes on?
I'm not a not Nintendo fan. I am a Nintendo
No,
fan, just not
no,
maybe not
not someone like
modern.
me. Not someone
Yeah.
like me.
No, no, no. Not along those
Okay,
lines by
right.
any means. Um but I am I'm actually quite stunned by this because nobody
Yeah,
asked for this.
nobody did. I don't think anyone's asked for a Mario versus Donkey Kong since the
No.
Wii U was out.
I don't think anyone asked for it back then either.
No, they did not, because I definitely didn't. I don't care.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Anyway, next up was the I can't remember the subtitle for the game because it's the new Prince of Persia 2D
Oh,
game.
Yes.
It
Yes.
looks
Yes.
fantastic, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I have seen trailers for
It
that.
was another new trailer for it, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely on my list for January of next year.
Yeah. I mean, Prince of Persia.
Damn you, Ubisoft!
I was gonna say like, but let's be honest. It's a platform repeat. It's exactly
I
you.
know, I know.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of the old classic Prince of Persia games, and I really liked those as a kid.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Even the newer
w-
Prince of Persia from what 2006, 10. I don't know. That
I
wasn't
don't
bad
know.
either. I
It
actually
was
like
okay.
that. Yeah.
All right, next up they had Horizon Chase 2. This looks good. I didn't see a release date for it, but it's probably had a release date for it. I didn't see it.
Well, I
So
will take
I'm
your
going to
word
be
for
honest. Oh, this was whilst I was working. I probably should have been working. I was working.
it. Uh huh.
Actually, was working at the same time.
Yep.
Um,
Let's go on the record and
next
say
up,
that.
next up was Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. Don't know.
What?
This
What?
one sort of passed me by a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that a Japanese game?
Believe it might be, but it's coming
Okay.
out November 14th. I don't remember
Oh.
much about this.
Oh goodness.
And then last up in the headlines was Spy Cross Anya, which is coming out in 2024. Not really a clue what about this. Not much about this one either.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh
Anyway,
huh.
next up was a bit of a highlight for the direct, and it was as brief comes. Super Mario RPG.
Right. Okay.
They showed new features
Okay.
such as the post game, which gives you the ability to refight any boss in the game.
That's cool.
Yep.
Does that change your like XP and stuff that you receive,
Well,
or?
it's all post game, so it's all the fact that you have your
Oh,
new
right.
stats and you can just do it for fun.
Right. Okay. Now
Because
I gotcha.
obviously, like, say you fought an early game boss,
Yeah.
you will be able
Just
to have the ability. They might actually like what I reckon they probably will do is they'll make those bosses from the early game in the post game a lot stronger to compensate for your power level.
right. Now, see, the interesting thing about Nintendo is that this is not a new Nintendo mechanic. They've done that even going
They
back
have, yeah,
to the original Super Nintendo. I mean, you
yeah,
couldn't pick the fights, but you could replay Super Mario, and it was harder because the Goombas were Beetles. You remember
yeah.
that, Pete? That's
hmm
crazy. Whoa.
They also showed something that they hadn't revealed from the trailer, or revealed previously from the trailer, was that there was a percentage meter that's been added to the UI. That is now
Okay.
known as the triple move. So all
Right.
three of your
Okay.
party members can team up for a triple move.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
They've given it a little bit of a new flavour to some degree.
Yeah.
There was one thing that went, let's say, not unnoticed by many, by a lot of people, is that a certain secret boss from the game might actually be returning.
Oh.
And I'm not going to reveal it for anyone who has not played the game, but let's just say that I saw something in the trailer. I saw them standing by a certain area and I saw a glow. I was like, that is everything I thought I wanted to see, and I'm glad.
I was gonna say, out of anyone on the planet, if Pete says that,
It doesn't actually know about it.
I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Pete's, yep, I'm behind Pete on this one.
hmm But anyway, November 17th, so that's not too far away.
That's
It's
not
2 months
bad.
from today's recording, actually. Literally, because it's the
Oh my
17th
gosh.
today.
Okay, I
So
need to
yeah,
drink more. But yes,
I've let's be honest as well. I've also booked 2 days off for this.
of course you did.
I
Of
want the game to be.
course.
I want to beat the game before anyone spoils the crap out of it
Oh
for me.
my
Thank you
gosh.
very much.
I don't know. That's pretty logical, if I'm honest. That's pretty
Yeah.
good reason. Yeah.
Anyway, next up we had remakes of a couple of DS games, which was into a collection called Another Code Recollection. Good name.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why no one's ever used that before, Pete. That's crazy.
Because this particular set of games is all about
Of
memories.
course it is. That is such an obvious pun, and I'm very disappointed it has not been
I
used
know,
before. But
but that's
yes.
coming out January 19th.
Sweet. Okay.
Yes. Next up, we had more information about the briefly shown previously Princess Peach game.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
It now has a name.
Okay.
Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh, that's cool.
It is revealed the story is that not really too much to it, to be honest.
Was.
There's a play that's been taken over, and you have to use abilities. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I forgot to say that you have abilities for a ribbon,
Oh,
and
that's
they showed
cool.
a few of them off, and they are rather cool.
Does she
There is
float?
sword fighting Peach,
Oh, okay, that's kind of
Chef
cool.
Peach, and Kung Fu Master Peach.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And the game comes out the 22nd of March 2024, and it's already been pre-ordered.
Of course it has.
This game looks incredible.
That's very cool.
I also showed it to Rachel. She looked
Oh, yay.
like she liked it.
Oh,
Surprisingly.
oh, that's so good to hear. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, next up they had another bunch of headlines, as they do.
Yes.
So the first game shown on those headlines was Saga Emerald Beyond,
Right.
2024 release for that.
Do you know what that is?
This one you might be interested in though. I'm not gonna lie. So I believe it's also coming to other platforms as well. So
Okay.
this one is right up your alley. I am not kidding about this. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remasters.
Okay, that makes me very happy. That makes
Coming
me
out
very
February
happy.
14th, 2024.
Oh, good. When no one loves me, I can play with Laura Croft.
Yes.
And
So
Pete's birthday.
this collection is actually quite interesting
Yeah?
because they are remasters
Yeah,
of the
that's
original
I'm
3
loving that.
games with the ability to toggle between new visuals and the classic ones.
You know that's my favorite mechanic.
I know.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, that's really cool. That's
Yes, even
very
I
cool.
was interested in this.
I'm loving that. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited for that. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next up was Detective Pikachu Returns, which is coming out the 6th of October.
I liked
This doesn't look too bad. I just think that they're missing a trick by not releasing the original Detective Pikachu. If they haven't already, they might have already done on the Switch, but I don't recall if they have.
Mm, hmm. Honestly, I don't know, obviously. But I have to agree with you because I did like the original Detective Pikachu. And I
Never
like the
played it.
movie because the movie has Ryan Reynolds. But the original Detective Pikachu is really good. I mean, it's just a fun game. But I also like the movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it's not on Switch, so they have missed a trick by not including it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Or not
agree with you there.
remaking it or remastering it.
Yeah. Even just porting it would be fine.
Mm.
So.
Speaking of ports,
Ooh, great segue. I'm awesome.
do you happen to remember a few months back? This is
Okay.
whilst you were still on Twitter. About a said game about a trombone.
Yes. Yes.
The meme game known as
Yes.
Trombone Champ.
Yes.
Well,
Very
that
well.
got shadow dropped on the Switch.
Did it really?
Straight after the show, it was on the Switch, and it is ludicrous that game is 12 quid.
Oh no! Like, don't
I
get me
know,
wrong.
that's ridiculous.
It is hilarious, and I love watching my favorite content creators play it. So just any content creator I've ever mentioned on here, they've played it, and it's been hilarious. 12 quid is a bit much. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a bit stupid.
It's a stupid game, but like stupid fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Falling apart.
Yeah,
I was
see
looking
that.
saying. Yeah, so that they've only included gyro controls into this as well, which is kind of cool, but it's just like, oh god, it's gonna be terrible. Anyway, next up was a game called Battle Crush, which is coming out in spring, 2024.
Okay.
Next up was a game called War Tales.
That sounds familiar.
That got shadow dropped.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Next up was Contra Operation Galuga.
I like Contra.
So it's a new Contra game which is coming out in early 2024.
That's kind of cool.
And a game title that I think everyone has also said, but I will also say it, one that I never thought I'd ever say in my life, Unicorn Overlord.
Ooh, I love the
Just coming
title.
out in March 2024, and God, what the hell was this?
What was it? What was it?
I don't really know anything about it. I don't remember it. That's the problem. I don't remember it.
I'll have to look it up
Yeah,
for
check it
sure.
out anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, do you happen to remember that I told you about Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon getting a remake
Yes.
for the Switch?
Yes.
Well, they showed more about it.
Okay.
It includes the 4-player multiplayer, so the
Right.
local and the online multiplayer that they had from the DS, oh, the
Right.
3DS, sorry.
Yeah, 3DS.
They've got the full campaign. It looks very nice. They've downgraded the name because they've just called it Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Oh goodness.
I don't know why they didn't call it Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I don't know. It's just very weird.
That's weird.
That was very strange. Anyway, so that's summer 2024. So Nintendo have lied about their timescale of what they're showing off. And that will come apparent again later on with another game.
Oh goodness.
Next up, they didn't show a game. They showed a building.
Right.
Because the Nintendo Museum that they once teased is nearing completion. Construction is due to complete March 2024. And that's in, I believe it's in Kyoto, Japan.
Right. Yes. I believe that is correct. And I am going to visit there eventually.
Oh, apparently it was called Luigi's Mansion 2 in America.
Oh, right. Okay.
That makes sense then. Still, Dark Moon was a better name.
Dark Moon is a very cool name.
Yeah, anyway. Next, they had an update on Amiibos.
Oh, right.
So, the Ganondorf and I believe the Zeldas from Tears of the Kingdom are coming out on the 3rd of November.
Link the Twink will arrive.
Xenoblade 3's last couple are coming out on January 19th. And the one that everyone wanted, which completes the full Smash Bros. Ultimate collection, is Sora, coming out in 2024.
Excellent. There you go. But I'm most excited about Link the Twink.
Next up, we had a shadow drop for a game that had been... This is why rumors annoy me sometimes. Yes. And
I know they do.
Leaks.
I know they do.
So I'm going to have a small rant here.
Go for it.
Don't always believe everything that you see, hear, or tend to believe online. A lot of it tends to be guff. I've been around a long time to know that a lot of this is crap.
Right.
So when people were going a bit mad in the beginning of the week, talking about F-Zero GX getting a remaster,
yes,
or anything like that, I thought they were complete and utter nonsense.
Right.
I stand to be somewhat corrected, but in some ways vindicated.
Okay.
Because F-Zero did make a return, but not in the way that everyone thought it would.
Oh, right.
This game got shadow dropped. F-Zero 99. It is essentially a remaster of the original F-Zero from the SNES with 99 players online.
Oh, like Tetris 99.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually really cool.
It is kind of cool. It's unbelievably chaotic.
Yeah,
and
it would
I've
be.
played a few games of it. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Right.
It's not quite captured the same appeal to me as Tetris 99 did, because I think Tetris 99 had a lot of strategy to it. Right. This game is just pure chaos. And it's not a bad thing. It's great, to be fair. It's nice to see Nintendo actually acknowledge F-Zero's existence.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say, actually. Because everybody's been, waiting for any kind of F-Zero content, remake or sequel or something.
Far too long.
Yeah. So this is good.
So it's nice to have something. I think people went a bit overboard with all the quote-unquote predictions.
Oh, I know.
Rumors they'd heard.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're getting a brand new F-Zero game. No, we're not.
Oh, goodness. Oh, dear.
That day's long past, I think. If it happens, it happens. If it does, it's probably coming to the next console.
Right.
Anyway, next batch of headlines. This is the final batch of headlines. So, Bandle Tale. Didn't really see much about this. This is out in 2024.
Right, okay.
Song of Nunu. Didn't see much about this either. November 1st.
I like the time.
WarioWare Move It. They
Oh,
showed a little bit
right.
about how this one controls. It looks a bit. I think the WarioWare games are now overplayed. They're released far too frequently now. They've lost their appeal.
I actually tentatively agree with you, Pete, because they are. They should be far and few and far between to
I
keep
agree. I
their
think they should be
novelty.
something on
Hmm.
each respective console to show up what the
Yeah.
console can do to some degree. Like having WarioWare on the Wii was perfect because of the
Yeah.
Wii right integration. They're just and the GameCube one was just because it was just good
Well,
fun.
yeah. That was
I had to
like
start somewhere.
I was gonna say that was like our, or at least my very first exposure to Japanese games. So
Yeah,
yeah. Oh man,
that was very fun.
that was fun.
Anyway, that's out November 3rd.
Yeah.
Next up was Ayuden Chronicle, which is out on 23rd of April. This looks alright, actually.
I'm
Next
loving
up was
chat, by the way.
DLC for Eastward, which was Octopia.
Okay.
So it's winter 2023. Next up was Wargroove 2.
I don't know
So
what that
Wargroove
is.
was the spiritual successor to Advance Wars, and
Oh,
they're getting a
okay.
sequel.
Okay.
October 5th for that.
I know what Advanced Wars is.
Yep. Dave the Diver. This is a game
Okay.
about you playing a chef who goes scuba diving for his own ingredients.
Oh my gosh. So kind of.
Coming out October 23rd. Looks kind of cool,
Oh,
actually. Not gonna lie, it's out on Steam at the moment anyway. Just getting a Switch port.
I will have to see this trailer
Okay,
for that.
right. I'm gonna tell you the last of the headlines first because
Okay.
this one was kind of cool because I think the one just before it was a bit weird, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute.
Okay. Chat is
So the
cracking me
last,
up, by the way.
I know, I know. We're gonna go through those in a bit. Um, so
Yes.
the last thing on the headlines was Among Us is getting a new map.
Oh, Amogus.
The Fungal. So it's not actually on a ship, it's actually on a planet.
Whoa, that's
It's a free
interesting.
update to Among Us, all platforms on October of 2023.
Oh, goodness. That's interesting.
I thought that was a good one. So,
That's pretty good. Yeah?
anyway, so to the most Nintendo of Nintendo things. Not gonna lie on this one.
Okay.
Mario Kart 8 Wave 6. So this is the final wave of DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Is it really, though, Pete?
Don't know.
Uh huh.
They showed that there are 4 new characters coming to the game.
I cannot believe that.
Christ if I remember who they are. I know one of them was Diddy Kong.
Oh, goodness.
Peachette, I believe, was another one. But anyway, don't really care.
Oh, my goodness.
The thing that was anyway, that's winter 2023. But to the most Nintendo of Nintendo things,
Yes.
they are releasing a physical version of the deluxe booster pack
Oh, my goodness.
with a code in a box and some additional stuff.
I was about to say, like, what do you mean by physical version?
So stupid.
Oh my gosh. I
This is
don't.
coming out October 6th. Oh,
What?
so Nana's put Diddy Kong, Pauline, Funky Kong, and Peach Hat are the 4 characters.
I mean,
Thank you.
I'm surprised Diddy Kong hasn't been in there earlier, but yeah,
Yeah, me
that's
too.
crazy, is what that
A
is.
physical version of the deluxe booster pack.
I don't get it. I really don't. I don't
Neither
get
do
the.
I, but
Yeah.
it's so weird. So weird. Anyway, after that good laugh,
Yes.
that's when they showed the Among Us stuff. But anyway, on to the final game. Do you remember me talking about a said game that I would have loved to have seen on the Switch at any given point? Even though I don't believe in remakes or remasters.
Oh dear.
Mainly because the game itself has now skyrocketed in price despite me owning it twice at one point in the previous console generation.
Yeah, I remember us talking about something about that.
Because Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remake got announced.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, Pete, I actually knew about this and I thought of you immediately. Yes.
I shouted out, woohoo,
Mm.
finally. Because this has been long rumoured for a long, long
Yes.
time.
Yes. Actually, yes, yeah.
To say I was rather happy with it would understate the fact that I watched this trailer now 4 times.
Oh
I
my
want to try and see
goodness.
intricate details.
You did shout woohoo.
I did shout woohoo.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so yeah, I went through this with a bit of a fine tooth comb.
Yeah, you
Paper
would.
Mario: The Thousand Year Door musically, and for the fact that I've
Oh
played the game about
yes.
4 times, I know this game very very well.
I know you do.
Um, they have included absolutely every single last key bit of detail.
Oh my
The visuals
goodness.
look quite nice in comparison. Um, I'm not loving the new redesigned soundtrack though.
Is this what we were talking about this week?
Sorry,
Didn't we talk about a soundtrack this week?
I don't.
A
We might have
remix?
done.
You sent
Uh,
me a remix.
no, that was from Super Mario RPG, and that was
Oh,
from
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
from the guy who does our theme. Anyway,
Oh,
and
yes.
that yeah, but yeah, I'm not liking the new music as much. I think the original's got a little bit more of a, I
Personality?
don't
Like,
know, a more of a personality. This one
yeah.
just feels more by the by. It's like they
Right.
have to pick up on the certain notes of it, and it just doesn't quite capture it like it
Yeah.
used to.
That's
I'll be
disappointing.
interested to see it in full, obviously, and
Right.
play. Look, it's not going to take away from the fact that I think the game actually visually looks spectacular.
Right. Which I
Like
know you're happy about.
I am very happy about this game coming out finally, but mostly because I don't have to go and spend 120 quid on going to buy the GameCube
Oh my
version when I've
gosh.
already owned it twice.
It is crazy the markup. That's not even a joke.
I know,
Ugh.
but I am still tempted to go and buy it. There's a certain Mr. Framey Game Man might be able to do me
Uh-huh.
a job with having the original and the remake next to each
Oh.
other, but I'm not quite that bad. They still haven't revealed whether this is getting a physical release.
Oh my goodness.
They better. They
Oh
freaking better.
gosh. If they get a physical release, you
Physical
should.
release. Yeah, if they get, of course. Well, I've already made sure that I pre-ordered Super Mario RPG to make sure I got a physical version of that. I
Right.
wouldn't slip it through my hand. It's not my alter ego, actually. He's an actual, genuine person we have once had on the show.
Yes. We should have him back because I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I don't know anything.
Well, his business has gone absolutely
I'm
ridiculously
sure it has.
stratosphere into the stratosphere. So
That's
good.
amazing.
Anyway, that was the Nintendo Direct.
Sweet.
Uh, so I'm interested to hear what
Mm-hmm.
you think as an outsider. What this entails. What you think this entails.
I actually think, again, as an outsider, there was some really good drops there. There's some weird ones that I'm like,
Hmm.
what? Like, literally, no one asked for the Super Mario Donkey Kong team
Nope.
up thing. That's weird. I don't know why they did that.
No, I don't know either.
But some of the other stuff is really solid. I mean, I hate to say Nintendo can't fail because anyone can fail, obviously.
Hmm.
But they
They
really
proved
know.
that during the Wii U times with
I
some of
mean,
those directs.
yeah.
Oof.
But I mean, they really have mastered marketing release dates. Release dates as in when they actually release, not when they say
Hmm.
they're going to release. Um, and they do a lot of fan service and they do give their fans what they want. Now, the fans always complain, don't get me wrong. They always are saying it's not enough. It wasn't, that it could have gone on longer, or why didn't they drop this or whatever. But what did you say? 3 shadow drops? Was it 3?
Yeah, there was three this time around.
I mean, come
They're
on.
not the biggest, but
What
F-Zero
does it
99 being one of
matter?
them was pretty massive.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
it's
mean,
free.
that's pretty cool. I mean, I
As long as
think,
you're on Switch Online, of course.
well, yes. But I think the last Microsoft one, they did one shadow drop, And it was,
They don't tend to do shadow drops very frequently, though.
they don't. They should do more. But,
It's tough, really, to keep a project like that
yeah,
quiet
I
for
guess
that
so.
long.
But as an outside observer, This to me, again, I want to reiterate, outside observer who loves Nintendo but is not currently a Switch
Fully
player.
invested, let's
Yeah,
say.
exactly. It seemed like a strong direct, and it seemed like yes, exactly.
Thanks, Mike.
But yes, it seemed like the shadow drops were strong. There's some weird games in there, yes, but they're repeatedly putting out product, which I can't say Sony or Microsoft is doing. You know what I mean? We're having to wait so much between so many games,
Hmm.
whereas Nintendo is steadily putting out content.
They
For
are,
us to
yeah.
consume. I can't disagree with that. I mean, I'm sure as I hate to say true fans, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You probably have more like, oh, they could have improved on this, they could have done better, and blah blah blah. But as an outside observer, holy crap, that's quite a bit. Um, Also, it is still funny to me that they do still have Mario Kart 8 DLC. That will
We
always
did go over,
remain hilarious
yeah,
to me.
Mike, we did go over that already. Another code recollection.
Yes. Again, I love that name, and it cracks me up. That pun has
Mm,
never been used before.
yes, me too. Makes sense in this one though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said I would leave my thoughts until the end, which
Yes,
makes
I
sense.
I think your thoughts are going to be the most,
This is
anticipated.
why I was interested to see if you picked up on what I thought the general theme of this was.
Mm-hmm.
General theme of this to me felt like hold over year until next console
Oh.
generation.
I mean, okay, that would explain like all the shadow drops and stuff.
It would explain some of the shadow drops. It would also explain some of the titles that we got, like Mario vs. Donkey
Yeah.
Kong. Let's be honest, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, and why we're getting things like, um, as much as I love it, Super Mario RPG as well.
Uh-huh.
They're
Uh-huh.
they're lower budget games that they can release at some point during the generation that
Right.
aren't going to cost the world, that are going to generate good profit, but their
Yes.
development times are not long.
Yeah.
Whilst
Exactly.
you have your own main first party studios like Retro Studios, I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh
And
goodness.
Nintendo EAD and all that, the Mario
Yeah.
teams, the Splatoon team are all, whilst they are working on Splatoon 3's DLC, they're probably working on something else in the background as well. You know, whilst I haven't believed most of the Switch 2 stuff that's been coming out, I'd be crazy to think there isn't a new generation coming around the corner.
Right.
Um,
Right.
this is what it felt like to me, is that a lot of the big games are being held back, which is why we didn't see Metroid Prime 4
Right. Okay. So
again.
I was gonna
For the
say.
now, it's now
Mm-hmm.
been it's been over 6 years since that game was first announced,
That
when
keeps.
the Switch first came out.
Mm-hmm. That does keep coming up. On again, outside observer opinion, I think they are saving that as a launch title.
Well, don't think it's a launch title. Well, it will be a launch title for the next generation
That's what I
Switch, but
mean.
I
Yeah.
think it is still coming to the Switch anyway. It's going
Right.
to be one of those
Okay. Okay.
cross-platform games,
Okay. Okay.
unless, of course, they go with the Xbox line. What they've been dealing with is where it's smart delivery or something, a
Oh
similar
yes.
system
Yes.
like that, or backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo would be stupid to not include backwards compatible with the next generation
I
consoles.
agree.
And considering the recent, I didn't really want to talk about this, but I guess it launches into a story that we wasn't going to cover anyway. Was the
Right.
recent rumors that apparently, Nintendo was showing off the console behind, or showing off concept behind closed doors at Gamescom,
Right. Yeah. We. Yeah.
where they were potentially showing off an upgraded version of Breath of the Wild.
What do you think of that, Pete? Honestly.
I have no reason to disbelieve them.
Okay.
This is quite normal.
Right.
They will go to trade shows where most of the publishers are or developers are there, get them into a room under an NDA and go, "This is what we're doing with our next console. What do you think?" It is very well known and very public knowledge that Capcom specifically requested more RAM to be put into the Switch.
That's crazy to me.
So they get design input from those trusted
Right.
partners, let's say. So
Okay.
this,
That
whether or
makes
not they were playing
sense.
on native hardware, I don't believe they were.
Right. Okay.
They were
Okay.
probably just showing concept videos from a developer's build.
Right. Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be stupid not to believe that the next generation isn't at least around the corner. I think it is coming next year.
I have to agree. I don't normally always agree with Pete, but on this, I feel that Pete's probably the more expert. You
I
know.
wouldn't say I'm an expert.
Well, I mean,
I
between
following trends more so.
yeah, but between the two of us, you're gonna have the finger on the pulse of Nintendo
Yeah,
more than I
that's
will.
true. And it was also one of those things that everyone gets high expectations going into directs as well. And they're like, are we going to see
Oh, I
Switch 2?
know.
It's like, no, we're not seeing Switch 2, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they're going to undersell their holiday titles by announcing new hardware?
I mean,
Mario Wonder, Mario RPG, why the hell are they going to undermine those by going, oh, by the way, there's a new Switch around the corner and it's
yeah,
coming out at
that's
the end of next year? Nobody's going to buy those games if they did.
exactly. That is exactly the truth. Um, do you want to
Anyway,
hear?
speaking of shit that's not going to be bought anymore, I don't think, because I
Okay,
think we've got a bit of time to cover this story
we've
before we
got plenty of
cover
time
chat.
now. Yeah.
Let's talk about Unity.
Okay, here we go. Strap
So
in.
this happened over the course of a hot week,
It did happen, that's
and
for sure.
it kind of took me by surprise.
uh,
So
it did and it didn't. But yeah.
okay, so let's just read through the stories and then
Yeah.
the several updates that we had since then. So Unity is adding a royalty fee based on the number of times a game is installed.
That's
So
insane, by the
anyway,
way.
coming from VGC,
That is
uh,
insane.
Unity will now be will begin charging a royalty fee based on the number of time the game is installed using the Unity engine. So bearing in mind this was the original story from VGC as of 12th of September, so that was over a week ago at this point. There have been updates. Um, Starting on January 1st, 2024, the new Unity runtime fee will apply to games that meet a minimum revenue threshold and have passed a minimum lifetime install count. It will also vary based on the type of Unity subscription plan the developer has.
Nope.
The fee will apply to games made with Unity Personal and Unity Plus that have made $200,000 or more in the previous 12 months and have at least 200,000 lifetime installs. Oh, God. Um, where did I get to? Will also apply to games made with Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise that have made 1 million or more in the previous 12 months or have at least 1 million installs. The fee, which will be payable monthly, will see Unity Personal and Plus developers paying a flat 20 cent per install over the threshold.
This is so messed up.
So, Pro and Enterprise developers will pay a smaller fee that scales downwards based on the number of installs over the threshold as detailed in the table below. There's also an emerging market monthly rate that ranges
That's
from
so messed up.
0.005 cents to 2 cents per install over the threshold. Christ, this is actually the first
Yeah.
time I'm reading all of this without seeing people screaming about the information on Twitter, and probably rightly so. They're screaming over
I
Twitter about
mean,
this.
yeah, like obviously I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I knew of this
It's
story.
probably the time that you're glad that you're not on Twitter. Actually,
I've been glad for the last 4 months. I'm like,
I
oh,
have until I have to go on to check this stuff with the
oh yeah,
podcast.
because you have the podcast Twitter. See, I don't go on the podcast Twitter ever.
Well,
but
no, you're supposed to.
no, I'm so
No, you
done.
are supposed to. That was
I
your
am.
job.
Yes, I will say for our lovely listeners and watchers, I am supposed to be the social media person. I have not ever even
I
come
do everything
near.
else.
He does. I haven't come near Twitter in 4 months. I haven't
I
even
don't want
thought of
to,
it.
but I'm forced to go on that crappy site because of
Ugh,
this.
get rid of it. Who cares?
Well, how
but
else are people going to know episodes are getting published?
they should be our fans, and then come check us out.
Anyway, the
But
Unity
yeah,
runtime. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I think I may have heard of this over on Mags' stream. I might have.
Probably did, yeah.
Um, but I know that I read some follow up stuff. This
Yeah.
is literally insane to me. Like, this is.
Stupid. It
I
really
don't.
is.
I'm confused as to what their like. I know what their motivation is. It's greed and money, but
It is.
yeah. But it's like this is gonna backfire. Of course, every time I say that on this freaking show, I almost said a cuss word. Uh, it blows up in my face, and I'm proved wrong. But I think this will backfire.
I think this one should backfire. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'll carry on reading the
Yes.
story and we'll
Do
discuss
that.
it a bit more. Unity runtime is code that executes on player devices and makes Unity with. You know what? I can't even be bothered with half of this crap.
Everyone knows what
It's
that
just-
is. It's
it's
just
just
Unity.
Talking about
Most of your apps, most of your game apps are made in Unity. Most of your small time.
Let's be honest, most of these are all testaments from other people anyway, so I just want to get to the new updates that have been added to the story.
Yeah, okay, do that.
So Unity has tried to clarify their new install fees and developer outcry. So Unity has sought to clarify plans. So anyway, this was the 13th, so the day after.
Oh my gosh.
Of course. I'm trying not to read anything that we've just already pretty much just read. So the announcement sparked outrage among some members of the development community. There is one. Yes, I know there is. Because I have a freaking cold. All right, go away.
I saw it at the top of this show.
Yes. Who's noticeable now? I don't care. I also have a Batman notebook.
Oh,
Fuck
that's
off.
cool.
Alright, anyway.
That
was a proper distraction now.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Pete is
I don't want to read the stories now. No, I'm joking.
Oh, yes. Have you found it?
Announcement sparked outrage among some members of the development community who said that the new fee structure is ill-conceived, unfavourable to game makers, and could be open to abuse. Developers questioned why Unity had decided to introduce fees that could penalise them for placing their game in a big sale, or deciding to include it in a charity bundle or subscription service like Game Pass. After previously saying that a player installing a game, deleting it, and then installing it again would result in multiple fees, something which would potentially allow malicious groups to target specific developers, Unity exec Mark Whitten told Axios that the company has tweaked the policy so that it would only charge for the initial installation. However, if a user wants to install a game on multiple devices like PC and Steam Deck, it will count as 2 installs.
Oh, I don't like this. This is bad. This is bad, Pete.
I know. And fees for titles downloaded through subscription services like Game Pass will be charged to distributors like Microsoft rather than developers, Unity said. Yeah, because you really think that Microsoft are going to go and sign up a game that's on Unity to go, yes, of course, we'll cover that.
Oh my god.
They're just not going to make deals with companies that are using Unity then.
That's exactly what's going to happen. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad.
Yes. Runtime fees won't be charged for installations or game demos unless the demo is part of the package that includes the entire game, such as the early access release. Unity also told game developer that qualifying charities would not be charged for installs. Wow, how good of you!
Oh my gosh! Oh goodness!
Anyway,
goodness.
Whitten estimated that that the thresholds being put in place would result in about 10% of Unity developers ended up having to pay fees. You would say that. The new policy has been widely criticised by developers, with some threatening to delist games with Unity and others calling on the company to axe the fee plans. This one was the most interesting. Cult of the Lamb Studio, massive monster, told players to buy the game now because we're deleting it on January 1st.
Oh my gosh. Also, I'm not surprised, but oh my gosh. That's crap.
Anyway, so this is a quote. This would harm not only us, but fellow game studios of all budgets and sizes, said Among Us developer Innisloff. If this goes through, we delay content and features our players actually want to port our game elsewhere, as others are also considering, but many developers won't have the time or means to do so.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Everything you're
So,
reading is awful.
I know, and let me read the last update that was had. The final update was Unity has had to close 2
Yeah.
offices following a death threat.
Okay, death threats a little bit much, guys. Come on. That's a bit much. Maybe don't do that.
Unity has had to close 2 of its offices and cancel a planned town hall meeting following a death threat. As
Oh
reported
dear.
by Bloomberg, the software development company has shut down its Austin, Texas, and San Francisco, California buildings following what was reportedly a credible death threat. I'm quite surprised the San Francisco office hasn't been closed due to homelessness.
Yes. Oh my gosh, though. People shouldn't do that.
I'm
Don't do
getting to that in a bit.
it. Okay, yes.
Quote, today we have been made aware of a potential threat to some of our offices, a statement from Unity reads. We have taken immediate and proactive measures to ensure the safety of our employees, which is our top priority. We are closing the offices today and tomorrow, which could be potential targets for this threat, and are fully cooperating with law enforcement on the investigation.
Oh my gosh.
According to a subsequent report by Polygon, San Francisco police were told that an employee made a threat towards his employer using social media.
Oh, that's not cool. That's not
Yeah.
cool. Wait,
Unity, yeah. So an employee made a threat towards his employer
that's what I
using
thought you
social media.
said?
Yeah.
That's crap. That's crap.
Yep. We're not going to go over that because that's just re-clarifying. Yes,
Yeah.
death threats are never cool. Never do them ever.
No. No.
There are
Not
some
at all.
seriously stupidly crappy people in the world. Don't do that
Do
ever,
not. Nope.
ever.
Unacceptable.
I
Also
don't
been
think they're
watching.
unacceptable. They're just absolutely horrific, ridiculous, and there's no point in them at all. No point. What does it achieve?
Exactly. No. Absolutely not. Oh, that's
Though
infuriating.
something does need to be done about the stupid state
I
of corporate
mean,
greed in our industry.
I am. Wait.
I'm not saying that death threats are a call to action. I'm just saying that we
No.
we as people need to do something about how ridiculous this is now getting.
Well, I'm a socialist, so I say Trotskyism. But.
Me as a normal person, no, I'm joking. Me as someone who is more reasonable
Yes.
would say that we should protest this by not spending our money with said companies
You could do that too, I
like
guess.
Ubisoft, which
Mm-hmm.
tends to work. You hit them in their bottom line, and they'll stop.
Well,
They'll
I
realize
mean,
the error of their ways. I mean, having massive publishers and developers coming out and saying we're not supporting this, we're moving our base of operation elsewhere. Yes, it may take time, but the sooner Unity get hit in their bottom line, that's it.
I
They're
mean,
gonna they're gonna they're gonna reverse this, but I'm afraid to say the damage is already done. Unity as an engine will probably already be dead by then.
yeah, it's
I also had an interesting thought about this, right?
okay.
Because you know how I like to always bring up the fact that Unity was used to make The Lion King.
Yes, yes,
Does that
yes.
mean that Disney are now getting charged for every single play of The Lion King on Disney
I
Plus because of
mean,
the use of this engine?
you joke, but that's actually not that far off from a valid question. I
I
mean,
wasn't joking. This was
okay.
actually a serious question, but it
I,
was done with a playful malice.
yes. Yes. I don't know what they're thinking. This is unprecedented as far as I understand. Uh because think about it. What if Unreal started charging? Oh my god, we would have no games.
Unreal do charge.
Well, they don't charge they charge a kind of almost a flat fee. I mean,
They do,
sort of.
yeah.
I mean, it increases with your, downloads or
Well,
whatever.
yeah. The more you sell, the actual better percentage you get
Yeah, but this is
in
like
terms of
next
revenue
level.
split.
Yeah, but this is completely next level that I just think it's bad business. But again, yeah, exactly. Definitely, Pete. You're gonna have to read chat. Chat is like
Getting
they're so
yeah,
good.
okay, I
But
know.
um, I mean, like I said earlier, every time I say something on the show is silly or it's not going to work or whatever, I find out I'm wrong. But I'm going to tell you this. It is bad business. What Unity is doing is bad business. Again, they may make 5,000 million times more than they normally make, and then I guess that's good business. Maybe what
Hmm.
I mean by bad business is it's bad for people. That's probably what I mean.
Yeah. You have to think about it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're an indie developer or a small double A studio, let's say,
Right.
and you haven't got resources to be able to spend on developing
Yeah,
a high-end engine for yourself. So
exactly.
your easiest option is to go and use a custom-made, ready available source to you for a small fee.
Yes.
That helps with your development because you haven't got to spend 5 years developing a freaking engine. Just look at what the downfall of Kojima was when it came to Kojima Productions and Konami. Was the fact that he spent so many goddamn years developing the Fox engine, an
Oh my
incredible piece
goodness.
of technology
I
that
mean, it
they've now
is.
used for everything.
Yeah.
But they didn't like the fact they spent millions of dollars on developing an engine that was only ever going to use for Metal Gear Solid.
See,
Um,
ugh.
you know, so you had. So my question to you was: is outside of Unity, what was the only other open source engine that's available?
I mean, I'm sure there are some. I'm 100% sure.
I'm sure there are.
But
Yeah,
in my early days as a
most well known.
yes, in my early days as a reviewer before rapid reviews with other ventures,
Hmm.
I was reviewing only strictly apps, um, just app games, uh,
Yeah,
available on phones. Those were almost exclusively Unity, and you can see if I have any old. I don't know if I have any old reviews still up online. I always start my reviews with, and it's a Unity engine product, and it's
yeah.
like every single reviewer I did. But I was doing, you know, indie studio reviews. I don't know of any other engine at the time because that was such a mainstream one. Again, I'm sure there were some. And here we are. I cannot imagine half those games that I reviewed. I cannot imagine those games. They just wouldn't exist. We would have
Mm,
half the games we do on our phones, which to me
yeah.
is important because I am a mobile gamer. I really enjoy playing mobile games. um, I think it will be a huge loss to the mobile gaming industry and the
It
indie
would be. But
game
but
industry.
anyway, my question was actually answered by Nana, who
Oh right.
said Game Maker, Godot, and RPG Maker are the three most popular open source engines,
Just
with
RPG
exception.
makers still exist.
It does.
Oh
Now,
my
outside of
gosh.
those, the only other option that you have is Unreal.
Right, right. I mean, if you
So
ask,
my
mm-hmm.
go on. Right.
I was gonna say if you ask a casual, normal, run of the mill gamer, oh,
It's
what's
Unity
yeah, it's Unity or
or
Unreal. Like
Unreal.
what
Yeah,
game engines do you know about? Unity
yeah.
or Unreal? You might know about the
Mm.
creation engine. You might, but outside of that, it's gonna be Unity and Unreal. That's
Okay,
it.
well then my next question is, outside of all of those, what are some of the most well-known, actually high-end performing game engines? And they could be in-house ones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got
Creation
Unreal
being one.
creation, and then what does Ubisoft use for Assassin's Creed? What do they use? Is that Unreal? That's not Unreal, is it?
Unity.
Is it Unity for
Well,
all of Ubisoft? I know that Ubisoft uses Unity
who
though.
who owns Ubisoft? Oh, it's the Kex
Oh,
engine or whatever it is.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I think Sencho's essentially getting to what I'm going for here.
Uh
Is
huh.
that this would be an ideal opportunity or a time for one of those in-house creators to take
Yeah.
theirs outsourced, or not so much outsourced, but put them into the public
Look.
way of handling things. And I have the perfect candidate for it.
Oh, okay. And then I want to do a tangent, but go ahead.
Capcom's RE engine
Yes,
is
RE
proving to
Vision
be
looks
one
good.
of the most
Mm-hmm.
robust engines out there at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Considering how well Capcom is doing at the moment, Would they
Yeah.
not think to themselves, let's put this out like Unreal has done,
I
and
mean,
see what kind of creations the public have with this? Think of how much money they could make out of that.
I mean, yeah. See,
I mean, Nana, you're right. I mean, Frostbite's out there, but not many people want to use Frostbite because it was developed for first-person shooters, and then they end up making football games with it.
I mean, yes, I remember when that. I remember when that
It's
happened.
better now, and
It
to be fair,
is.
Mike Tendo's pretty correct with oh God, what's the engine called? Christ, with Night Dive Studios engine, the Carbon engine.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the specific remaster engine that's doing some really good things actually at the moment.
I mean, I got some thoughts. Uh, but
Go on, let's get to those thoughts, and then we can read chat to finish up.
well, actually, just as someone who's always been I've always been a business-minded person, obviously. But even my
Mm-hmm.
first job, as I've said a million times, my first adult grown-up job, was at a newspaper, and it always struck me odd that we would send our files out, our digital files, to be printed at a different office 30 minutes away, 30 miles
Yeah, it
away.
makes no sense.
Yeah, I was like, why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. Then I moved on to a different newspaper, a much bigger one, and they had their printing in house. And they saved thousands of dollars a day because it was a daily newspaper. Um, by doing everything in house. And that's what my young, impressionable, business minded Kiley learned, that if you can do things in house, always do things in house. If you've got some kind of mystical, great creator, oh goodness. Yeah, Pete's going to read chat here in just a
Yeah,
second.
we're getting to that. I've
Uh,
stopped reading them for now, so I've gone back to the beginning.
yep. But if you can find some gifted creator that's in your employ,
Hmm.
do it in house. Create an engine from the ground up. Yeah, it's going to take a long time and it's going to take a monetary investment. But guess what? It's going to pay off dividends in the long run.
Yeah,
But
spend the money up front, and then it
yeah,
will
exactly.
come back to you eventually.
But Pete, definitely you should catch us up on chat because it is
I am going
crazy.
to. I've gone right back to the very beginning because we had an important question from Sencha at the beginning.
Okay.
Most important Starfield question. What was your captain's name?
Mike, okay. My personal captain, I just use the name I always use for my characters, which is Budaika. But my
Okay.
my roommate, flatmate, housemate, whatever, they used captain. They
Use
called him
what?
they called him Sean Solo.
Oh my god.
So he's called Captain Solo. I was like, okay, that's pretty good.
Brilliant.
But yes, Pete, what did you name yours?
Donnie.
Donnie, that's good.
Don't know. Just went with
Yeah,
it.
that works
Yeah.
too.
Sencho then put, nah, I've had a lot of people say the companions suck and it's just a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Bethesda should switch to Unity with a laughing face.
oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ah.
Anyway, I'm skipping over a couple because they were pointless.
Right, okay.
Sencho put, I was zero interested. Then they had that showcase that
Yeah.
turned me around, being like, that looks pretty cool. And now that I've seen a bunch of content of it, I'm like, oof, I'm out.
I mean, it depends. Like my only problem is strictly it's just formulaic. I mean, when the mods start hitting and dropping,
Yep.
I'll be back in. I know I will. Same thing
Yeah.
happened to me with Fallout 4. It's just the Bethesda formula. It's just boring and
Agreed.
predictable. Yeah.
Mike Tendo, kept up from last week, said, want epic space battles and shorter distance between planets at a cheap price? Check out Starlink Battlefront.
Yes.
Nana put, I did watch them both.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Good. Senjo put, all the greatest physics game ever made, dead or alive, Extreme Beach
Yeah.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
That took jiggle physics to new levels.
Jiggle physics, and then Saints Row did it too.
I believe this is probably something to do with a game that we were talking about at the time. The new game for VTubers to keep playing, which Nana said.
Yeah,
That's, I would imagine it probably was.
that was one of the games. Yeah.
Uh, Mike Tendo also followed that up by saying, "Gotta love jiggle physics."
Remember when I used
Jesus,
to call it Jizzle Physics? We had a
I
whole
do remember.
episode. Oh my
I'm sure we did.
gosh.
Yeah.
Was that just me and you? I think that was me, you, and Kieran. Jizzle Physics. Yeah, we had a
Yeah,
whole
I
episode
don't
over that.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I couldn't stop saying it.
I know it became a problem.
It did. Yes.
So yeah.
I remember that. Oh, Jizzle
Senjo
Physics.
put yes in any way, shape, or form. Why have ghost in the name and the title?
Yes. That was one of the
Agreed.
games you mentioned, yeah.
And they'll do it. Sedana put they are doing another trailer for separate ways tomorrow. So, and then he said Ubisoft continues to confuse me honestly, and he said please Prince of Persia sell well. I agree.
I think it will, if I'm honest. Yeah.
I believe there might be a small bit of sarcasm here from Sencho where he says, "Oh my god, colours, I take my money."
Yeah.
Yes.
That was sarcasm for sure.
Nana put it felt. I felt it was meh, but Bandai showing Tales, Capcom showing RE4 DLC, and FF7 Rebirth was pretty cool. I agree.
Yeah.
It was kind of a crap showcase other than that. Sencho put lots of Gold Source mini games. Nana put Chocobo Racing, so yeah, it's just going through things that were in Final Fantasy Rebirth. Nana put this game gives me hope. The last game might be playable Advent Children.
Oh
I
gosh.
think they're incorporating a lot of elements of
Oh
Advent
no.
Children within this because there is a playable
Vincent.
Sephiroth section
Oh
by
no.
the looks of it.
Oh no no no. No,
Also, I
don't
don't
say
know if you've
that.
seen the meme going around by any chance. This is a
No.
good one by the way. So there was a section in the trailer showing Cloud on a Segway.
Right,
So
yes, it just
the
cracked me
meme
up.
now is to put Sephiroth on an even larger Segway
Oh gosh.
because obviously the swords.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Oh
funny.
goodness.
They are good memes.
Oh
Very
my
low effort, but
goodness.
it's what I like. I like low effort.
Yes.
Sancho put, I hope they stay far away from Average children.
Oh, I agree, Sincho. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh
He
dear.
said, I'm sure the game will end in the Silent Forest. It probably will. Actually, one of the things that I did see from the trailer I'm more interested about is the non-skippable Midgard's
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Sancho put, I hope Nintendo calls it Switch 2, like TOO, for maximum confusion.
Yes.
Nana put, honestly, this honestly looked pretty cool. I haven't played this yet. I might buy it. I can't remember what game that was about, but that was clearly to do with Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Could have been the Splatoon stuff because the next thing was even an announcement for an isometric Donkey Kong Tactics game would sound better from Sencho, which yes, it probably would.
That was that.
Imagine Donkey Kong XCOM. That'd be kind of cool.
What was I playing the other
Anyway.
day?
Nana, again, please let this sell well. We need more Ubisoft platformers. Yes, that's to Prince Persia.
I mean, they do platformers well.
Damn, Sencho, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Says
dear.
Dewey, though. There are a lot of great platformers from indie developers out there. Damn.
Oh,
Savage.
goodness.
Nana put, it's Konami, so yeah, so this looks amazing, honestly, and it was funny. So this is all clearly stuff to do with talking about what we're talking about at the time. Sencho put, I don't know about Contra after that last one. That's kind of true. Yeah, the last one was pretty bad.
It wasn't great. I have to agree with you there.
Yeah. Nano clarified by putting it's Luigi's Mansion 2 in America. Another place for me to go when I'm in Japan, which is the Nintendo Museum.
Yeah.
Mike Deno put Nintendo Direct focusing on games coming winter, proceeds to show games coming autumn 2023 and spring 2024. Yes.
Yes.
Not even just that, just unannounced 2024 game.
Yeah.
Well, just no timescale, just 2024. Senju put, what a time to be alive at F-Zero Battle Royale.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, actually.
Mike Tenner put, I must be honest, F-Zero 99 isn't too bad, but I still prefer Mario Bros 35. Yes, I did
Oh
as well, but they
yes.
shut the damn game down.
Yeah, they did.
That was a stupid move. Sencho put, Nintendo be like F-Zero with a scratchy head.
F-Zero, F your zero.
Yeah. Sencho then put, it's a fish hater's wet dream.
Oh gosh.
That's probably to do with Dave the Diver.
Yes, it is.
Nana put Diddy Kong, Pauline, Cranky Kong, and Peachette were in the game. Thank you for clarifying. Mike Tender put Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now with Funky Kong mode. Good.
Oh, funky.
Sancho put Pete's alter ego, Framey Game Man.
Yes.
That's not possible because we've actually been on the same podcast at the same time.
Yes, they've been in. Oh, but they haven't been in the same room at the same time. There you go.
Mike put, which you are, Pete. Thank you for the Nintendo Switch on my family membership. It's been helpful.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we went over that anyway about the recollection.
Yes.
He said he's never played it, but it looks interesting. A lot of games that I wouldn't call system sellers, but are still decent games in their own right. They are games that you would probably already own a Switch and probably would certainly pick them up. But you wouldn't necessarily go out and buy a Switch just for those. Agreed. Sencho put they need more RAM to fix Chun's face in MVC Infinite. No, they needed a lot more time, a lot more patience, and a lot more effort.
Oh, goodness.
Rather than porting from MT Framework, which was a really bad move.
Oh, dear.
More talk about engines.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then Mike Taylor put Nintendo did have a private area at Gamescom. Was he talking about the rumors?
Yeah.
Which was invisible to no one as it was closed off with prominent red walls.
Well, like. Oh gosh. Oh dear.
Nana put Sigh, Unity really sucks now, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Sencho agreed that they are despicable. If Unity was a Nintendo character, they would be called a Conky Don.
Yes, that actually made me giggle while you were talking, Pete.
I saw it, but I was trying to avoid it. I had to make sure I wasn't saying a racism there.
Oh gosh.
I probably missed this being mentioned earlier, but Pete, do you have a cold? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I had to take yesterday off work. Anyway, so Sencho put developers of Slay the Spire already announced that they will switch engine, even though they are already 2 years into development with their game. And then Mike just said, wondering why there was a toilet roll on the bed. Not saying anything more than that. Sencho agreed, said it was a great catch. Not even kidding, I have one right next to the bed with me as well. Context, recovering from COVID.
Boys are gross.
Don't want to know about your context.
Boys
Context
are gross.
doesn't matter.
Ew.
No, we're not. I'm not that gross.
You're icky.
Mike Tendo put, you have a Batman notebook too, Sencho? With a laughing face. Good stuff. Sencho put mine is called a Bateman for some reason.
Oh, see, boys are gross.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is just devolved into utter chaos between Mike Tendo and bloody Sencho. I can't read all of this. Anyway, this one it was actually prominent to do with the conversation we were having at the time. Love how the higher ups sold their stock right before the announcement, said Joe said.
Yes.
Good. It's almost like they knew. Mike Tenzer says, I was just about to say that they really do suck. I can't read that comment apart from saying that poo poo always floats from the top. Floats to the top.
There you go. That is true.
Nana put okay, but this one came from inside the Unity studio. So yeah, that was agreeing with us. So yeah, that was a bit weird.
That's crazy.
Mike Tender put as for Cult of the Lamb, I'm glad I picked it out physically. Yep. This is why physical always counts.
Except here's the thing. Cult of the Lamb I thought was going to be a lot better than it was.
Agreed.
But that's just my take.
Mike Turner put, if you are a person that resorts to death threats, then you are the problem.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
God, there's more. There's so much more. I don't know how much more I can handle with this. I don't know if I can do any more of this.
We gotta keep going, Pete. We haven't
I
even reached.
can't.
We haven't even
Let me
reached
give
the
up.
2 hour mark.
Screw off.
Oh, yes.
I can't do it anymore. Sorry, guys.
Okay,
That's
well,
it. I'm done.
let me take over then.
You
I'll
can
take
do
over.
if you want.
Okay, I'll take over.
Where
Can
did I
I
get
even
to
read?
anyway? Uh,
Let's see.
uh,
Bloop, bloop,
I
bloop,
don't know.
bloop, bloop, bloop,
Yeah,
bloop, bloop.
the one from Sencho that says, yeah, they're shite.
Okay, hold on. I'll be there soon. Yes, let's see. Especially since they hit more people that have nothing to do with the problem. Exactly. Mike says, and now you are making it about yourself rather than the issue at hand. That's exactly it. That's the people who call in, like, bomb threats and death threats. Which is so stupid. Absolutely right, Sinjo. Nana lists, the different game engines, I think. Ghetto is
Mm-hmm.
about to become the same thing Blender is now to indies. Really?
Oh, yeah, I forget about Blender.
Good old Blender. Sinjo says, it's almost like monopolies are pretty bad. Yeah, they're pretty bad. I'm a socialist.
Oh, what are you talking? So what? You're telling me that the game Monopoly was a lie?
Oh, goodness.
Damn.
You know what's funny? I'm really good at Monopoly. Anyway, Nana says, and also you don't get charged unless you make 1 million, which means only top level indies and AAA companies get charged.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tindo said Game Maker, which is another engine, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Game Maker,
I
yeah.
know.
Game Maker, Godot, RPG Maker, probably the 3 best options. I can't believe RPG Maker is still around. That is crazy. It's awesome, but it's crazy. Oh gosh.
Sorry, Nano. I did. Just seeing that comment you put about in-house engines. I did say Sencho made a good point, but you did make it earlier, so fair enough.
Yeah. And it says, I do wonder if we'll see the rise of in-house engines, considering how successful Capcom and to a much lesser extent EA, because while Frostbite sucks, it's at least being used for everything. Save money on those, and that again is what inspired my comment to say, always go in-house. Centro says, oh dear. I have a sick idea, guys. Let's make a game engine where all the features and stuff are locked behind loot boxes. And depending on what loot tier you get, the more options the feature has. I think I could apply at Activision with this. I think you're right. Don't let that escape. Do not let that idea.
I'm pretty sure that EA
escape.
once had a patent out there to
gosh.
charge you microtransactions for reloading guns in Battlefield.
Oh, don't even start. EA was voted worst company for a reason. Oof, yeah, Mike says, I think you might be onto something. Nana says exactly what I did, which is don't give them ideas. And then mentions the RE engine, which Pete also went into. Bethesda could join the market with the Creation Engine, Sincho says. The Kex engine, which is Ubisoft. The Night Drive Studios.
Which was the Carbon engine.
Yeah, Nana mentions Ubisoft Anvil, and then also Frostbite, only because EA is making sure that that's being used for everything. Yeah, it is. Mike says RE Engine is quite a marvel. I agree. I think it has probably out of everything we've said. Now remember, I am biased to FPS, but I think out of everything we said, that RE Engine has the most potential. Nana says, I will say on that though, RE Engine kind of only being used for one art style, and that's anime realism.
That's why I would like to see it in the hands of a different developer to actually see what they could do with it, because it'd be interesting to see their take on, realistic proportional humans.
That would be interesting.
Because look at the kind of scale that I have just with creature designs with Monster Hunter with it. It's just ridiculous. And their human designs actually on there, whilst they are more anime-esque, they are still very, very, very well done.
It's
And
right.
the fact that the engine is very, very adaptable, the fact that it's been used in a fighting game, a third-person over-the-shoulder action game, a third-person over-the-shoulder action game, and a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter game.
Yes.
By the way, I played Exo Primal, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
I did, actually.
Okay, how I
Exo
know.
Primal was alright, actually.
I was gonna say I know
people
you
unnecessary,
enjoyed it.
people
Yeah.
gave it unnecessary hate. I thought it
No,
was okay.
I think it's very okay. I enjoy it very much.
We should go and jump on for a game of it because I didn't want to play it on my own.
I know.
I just got through the tutorials. It was fun.
I really need to get on more often. But
Yes.
Horizon Forbidden West. Is that Unreal?
No, that is
Is that
God, what Gorilla Studios' own engine and Decima engine. That's the one. It's
Oh,
called Decima.
okay.
It's the
That's
same
pretty
engine that
good.
was used by Kojima with Death Stranding.
Right. Yes, that's right. Okay, I like that
Why do I
engine.
remember such arbitrary
I
details?
don't know,
I
because
don't
it's
know
like
why. It's
our
weird.
job or whatever.
Well, it is.
What's God of War use?
That's got to be their own engine, but I just don't know
I
what it
don't know
is.
either. I know we've talked. I
Because
feel like we've talked about it
obviously,
before,
like,
though.
well, Sony have their own in-house
They
engines, I
do.
believe.
They do. They have
I think
more
all
than.
of them develop their own engines
Yeah.
actually, which is why Last of Us looks very different to things like Horizon
Yeah.
and as such. Because the GT7 engine is something to be marvelled at, but I can't imagine it does human proportions very well,
Yeah.
but performs incredibly well.
I agree with that. Nana says I feel like Square has tried like so many engines since 2006, and they just end up failing each time.
Which is why
Yeah,
most of the time they go with Unreal now.
they do. Yeah, like Forspoken was a lot. Oh, don't talk to me about Forspoken. And Sindra says I'm glad I'm asked. Nana says, Kylie, they've been using the creation engine for like 2 days. Yeah, that's what's
Far too
insane to
long.
me. It may be. So Starfield is still using the creation engine for those who don't know. Although I've heard they may. Oh dear. I've heard they may upgrade to Unreal in the future. I don't know. But that engine is so out of date, and you can tell when they talk to the NPCs how out of date it is. It's
I
so
think at
bad.
this point they probably should start thinking about either creating taking
They've
the
got
time
to,
out and just making their own engine, another
or
new engine, or
upgrading or something.
taking one of their side teams that should be working on another game and going, look, we need a new
Yeah,
engine. Just
yeah,
take whatever kind of time we need.
it's
Because
bad.
I think Elder Scrolls 6 coming out on that janky ass engine in 2028 or wherever it's
No,
coming
it can't. It
is
just
it
can't.
can't. We said the same thing about friggin' Starfield
We
and it
did.
happened.
Yep, because I remember it quite clearly. Um,
I said straight away this is the
you did,
creation engine. It's gonna be awful.
and I was
At
like,
least
maybe it
runs well
runs.
this time though.
Yeah,
It
this
does run okay and it's
it
less
does.
bugs, but it's
It's
still pretty
just
bad.
it's mostly the NPCs. Uh,
Oh, they're awful.
Jizzle physics, I won't forget. Uh, but
This is the comment I was laughing about, by the
but
way.
Cloud's Shagway should be thicker, and while Sephiroth should be longer. Oh, fanfiction.
That was a girthy one.
Mike says Cloud on the Segway makes for a good segue. Oh.
Hey.
Cincho says, we make it a good team, Mike. You do. You should start a podcast. Please don't. But
Unless, of course, it might come on a network such as the Rapid Reviews Podcast
there you go.
Network.
And we
And
can be
so,
on there. We should get segues in an Escalade. Oh, you're right. Cincho, great minds think alike. I miss Escalades. We don't have them over here. Do you guys get Cadillacs over there in where you're at, Pete, England?
not particularly.
Yeah, no.
There are a few, but not many.
I've seen a Mustang over here, and that's been like that blows
Rare.
my mind. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, they're
whoa.
rare.
And it's like an American one where the steering wheel's on the other side, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think I could drive that. Boy, howdy,
No.
do I miss Cadillacs. But anyway, I
There's no
think
point owning one here because they have a very large turning circle and our
yes, they do.
streets are narrow.
But so does my BMW. I just admitted I have BMW on air. But yes.
You already have before.
Yeah, but I'm still slightly embarrassed. But yeah, my BMW has a huge turning circle. So I got a second car also as well for my business. It's called a Renault Scenic.
A Renault Scenic.
That thing, Renault Scenic. I got
Renault. It's a freaking French car.
Renault. Whatever. I got in it yesterday for the first time. I've had it for like 2 weeks, but I finally got in it to like deliver stuff.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the key is a credit card. Thank you very much. I mean, I know like my BMW is like a weird slot thing, but it's not like a credit card. So you put the credit card in a slot, and then like this whole cockpit lights up. Everything's digital, and I panicked, and I kid you not, guys.
I thought it was broken.
I'm not a good driver. Let's full stop. I'm not a good driver. Okay, so my BMW has what's called a like digital parking handbrake. I just pull this little thing and automatically there's a handbrake. I don't know, a light goes on and the handbrake's up. Woo! I don't have to do the thing, which is kind of cool. So this Renault, or how do you say it, is similar, except I pushed it and the little light went off. But then I started backing up and it started making this horrendous noise. Like, and then it started smelling like burning like rubber and stuff.
So you're burning out your freaking handbrake.
I did. I'm pretty sure I might have actually destroyed this car in the first 24 hours of driving. I should not be let near any cars except BMWs. That's all I know. So I might have broke my work car. I'm not sure. But anyway.
Hope you didn't get out on finance.
No, not that one. But anyway, it says, Kiley, that's what Nana says, wait, I have to get, chat is just.
So Kiley, that's not that bad. I know plenty of people with BMWs.
Yeah, but we have a reputation. Let me just say this.
Not really.
Let me just say this about BMW drivers. All I know is about myself. I cannot park. It's not done on purpose. I can't park. I can't, my blink. Okay, so our blinkers have 2 settings. You can manually set it. The blinker set 1 has 2 seconds. Goes blink, blink, and then it's done. But if you push it all the way up, then it's a regular blinker. So people always complain about BMW drivers not having their blinkers on long enough. It's because, for whatever reason, you push it up and it goes blink, blink, and then it's done. So see, I'm not a dick, I promise.
Anyway, I'll get to these last few comments.
Okay.
Mike Tendo put a Dodge Charger didn't know Dodges need chargers. Senjo put, how can a Dodge and charge? How can you dodge and charge at the same time? That seems inefficient.
I like Dodge Chargers quite a bit.
Nintendo put, maybe they are charging up to do a Dodge. Sencho put, also your car is now called a Renault. Now putting on that note, ... thank Christ. Mike Tender putting on that bombshell, it's time to end the show. Yeah, alright, Clarkson.
Oh, goodness. Again, for Americans out
cue
there.
the Top Gear music. Everyone knows Top Gear, for Christ's sakes.
For the Americans out there, you really should try Top Gear. Like I said before on another show, my first week here or month here, I didn't know what I was doing. I was completely shell-shocked. I just watched Top Gear and some show, I forgot what it's called, where people would go to fly to Australia, and then like the border patrol would get them.
Oh, you mean Border Force?
Is that it? Okay.
Oh,
that and Gatwick. It was Australia.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Gatwick.
yeah, those border control
border control things.
Yeah.
So that was the 3 shows
they're funny.
I just watched because they just would repeat those like all day.
Oh, yeah, they do quite regularly.
Yeah, so my very first month
Dave.
Here, that's it. Dave, that was it.
The Dave TV channel was called Dave. Of course you were watching Dave.
Yes. Yeah, So that was all a new experience for me. But we're gonna wrap up the show. We will have a very brief after show
No.
because, yes, I'm ignoring chat because chat is amazing right now,
I know.
and they're very distracting, but I love them
Yes,
so
they
much.
are. We've got to end the show now.
Yes, we're gonna end the show. We will do a little post show. So please, if you're listening, you know what? I'm gonna make an appeal right now. We have not had our normal amount of listeners and watchers. If you can give us a little listen and a watch, it would be appreciated. Just whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I mean, we're not like demanding it or anything, but it's always appreciated. But anyway,
Always.
I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah.
As we wrap this show up, we hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
That ends the podcast portion. Pete, I did forget to ask you to do Never Watchers. I forgot.
Fine. Whatever. 2 secs.
We'll just blame it on Pete being sick because it's totally Pete's fault, not mine. But yes.
I can hear you now. It's cool.
Oh, good. That's good. But anyway, thank you, chat. You guys have been so amazing and everything.
Now I put the links in the chat for the for everything.
Yeah.
So thank you again for that. Yeah, we did Never Watchers, even though we're not recording anymore. Doesn't matter. We did fantastic, Mr. Fox.
I know. I need to listen to that because that's
Please
one of my
go
favorite.
and listen to it.
It is one of my favorite movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't know if you'll like the episode. Then.
Oh no. I'll tell you this. What I said, even when, because I had friends that had a film review podcast at the time, and I told them this, which is what I truly believe. I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. I would love to have seen Wes Anderson do a live action of people with animal masks. I think it would have been better.
Weird.
It's Wes Anderson.
I know.
You know, he's quirky.
He is quirky, yeah, I'll give you that.
And Mike Tindos has read the book Fantastic Mr. Fox. Never saw the film though. The film is very good. It's very good.
The film's okay.
Yeah, of course I can kind of see what Pete's opinion is on Never Watchers.
The film's okay.
I enjoyed it very much. I saw it in theaters, but at the time I was a Wes Anderson fan. I am not as strong a Wes Anderson fan now.
Yeah, I think his last few films have been a bit.
I saw the last trailer for his latest film, which I don't even think is out yet. I think
what Moonrise Kingdom was it?
No. After that, there's one coming out.
Yes,
soon.
there is a new one coming out.
And it felt like a parody of a Wes Anderson movie. That's how formulaic or predictable or something he is. I was just like, oh, I don't, unless he's doing some kind of like, you know, internal self-reflective parody, this is bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It wasn't. Yeah, it didn't look good to me.
I did like Moonrise Kingdom though. What?
I haven't seen it. I got about halfway through Isle of Dogs and I couldn't handle any more and just went, nah.
Yeah, well,
I haven't gone back to any of his movies since. I still think The Royal Tenenbaums is a great movie, though.
it is good. Like Mike says, there's whimsy and then there's Wes Anderson. It's because he's become a parody of it. But you know, like,
yeah,
what's his face? Nolan. I was worried he was going to become a parody of himself as well.
I don't think he is ever going to become a parody of himself because he can't, because he still has terrible sound editing.
Oh, but I enjoyed the sound on Oppenheimer.
No, he's an incredible director.
He is.
For some reason, he can't get sound right.
Oh, I think he incorporates sound so well.
No, so what it was with... So there's several moments in Oppenheimer is when the soundtrack overscores some of the dialogue.
Okay.
That's stuff that I mean like that. It's terrible. It's awful. You know, there always has to be some kind of decision to do with sound in a Nolan film that is just questionable. Like putting the mask on Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, I know. Like that was...
That's what I mean. It's just stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
That's why he'll never be regarded as one of the greatest, even though he has got an incredible eye for a scene.
He does, like, his
And he
eye
can't. He
is.
sometimes can't write humans as well.
No, I think he may be autistic. He
I
definitely
think so.
can't. He can't write humans. Oppenheimer is so stilted. The writing.
It's so clinical at times as well, isn't it?
It is. It is. But it's
I don't
so.
think it's a bad thing in that movie though.
What's that?
The fact that it's so clinical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It fits with his character and just generally sort of
Well,
themes of the movie, I think.
but see, that's the thing. Like, the writing is stilted. It is clinical. It is very. You're distant, but I'm not gonna lie. Now, obviously, I love Cillian Murphy, but this is not me being a fangirl to Cillian Murphy. When he
It is.
acts, no, it's not. When he acts out that scene where he is experiencing grief, I won't. I don't want to spoil anything,
Yeah, yeah.
but experiencing grief because he's lost someone, that brings a whole humanity that Oppenheimer himself didn't have, because you have to remember, I can't stand Oppenheimer, the person,
Mm.
the real human. I do like what Mike said, which is, to be fair, I think the last Wes Anderson film I properly watched was Life Aquatic. That is a good film. It just
I
is.
haven't seen The Life Aquatic.
Rushmore, Life Aquatic is good. The Royal,
I still think
Royal
Darjeeling Limited is probably probably
That's
my
good
favourite.
too. Ugh,
That is just weird and eccentric and just messed up, that movie, but I love it.
I love the visuals on that.
Yeah,
I just love
I
the
just
visuals until this latest one. I wish I could remember what it's called. Um, it doesn't look good. Like, I have no desire to see it at all. Uh, I just
I'm gonna
it
look now
feels
to
like a
see.
parody. I think Scarlett Johansson's in it,
Yeah,
who is hit or miss. Like, sometimes she's amazing. Like, Lost in Translation. Oh my gosh, I cried like a little baby.
you mean Asteroid City?
That's it, Asteroid City. If you watch it, the colors are so saturated. You know, usually he desaturates, but they're so saturated. It's such a parody of itself. It's like, are
Mm.
you intentionally being self-reflective? If so, I'm behind it. If not, we've reached levels of
Yeah, it's
self-parody.
very auteur, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Right, and I
It's
think that sometimes it can be cool, but sometimes when you toot your own horn too much about it, it just becomes quite
yeah.
shallow.
Oh, speaking of toot your own horn. What's his face? Frick. I have just Coppola.
Yeah,
Francis Ford Coppola. He's got a new. I believe he has a new movie coming out.
yeah.
It's either him or what's his face. I can't remember the two Italian directors that I've just blanked out on because I've had a bottle of wine. But they're
Scorsese?
yeah, it's either him or Scorsese. I can't remember. I think
Is
it's
it? It's a
Coppola.
new one with Scorsese
Is
where
it? Is it Leonardo?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I want to
Yeah, that
watch
looks
that.
good.
That looks so good.
Mm.
I'm gonna watch the heck out of that.
Also, did you happen to see a trailer for a film they've made recently about the GameStop stock situation that happened a couple of years
No,
ago?
I remember that
Yeah,
happening, but no, I
it
haven't.
looks stupid. It looks really
Oh,
stupid.
is it done in like a silly way on purpose?
Not
Or
silly, like no, it just looks stupid as if why the
oh
hell did
no,
they ever make this?
oh no, that
What
makes
the
me
f-
sad.
I mean, it's got Seth Rogen in it,
Oh gosh, oh dear.
playing a hedge fund manager.
Okay,
Why?
Seth Rogen.
Why?
Seth Rogen is great as a producer, as we've
Seth
seen
Rogen is
on
no, he's not. He's a
Preacher,
piece of shit.
Preacher and the Boys. He's great.
Sucks. They
I don't
suck.
care for
They
him in
really
movies.
suck.
I love it,
The
but
boy sucks.
I love it so
I'll
much.
fight it for as
You
long
should
as I
go
can.
watch Preacher, see if you like that. Sincho says Leo is
Nah.
almost always a good time. This one is good. It looks really good. That and Napoleon, I want to watch so
Yeah,
bad.
the Napoleon movie looks okay, but it's
Oh, it looks good.
who is it? It's Ridley Scott,
It's
isn't it?
Ridley Scott.
Ooh,
So
ooh, ooh,
I know
ooh,
he's hit or
dear.
miss. I know, but
Oh dear.
it's Joaquin. So I'm thinking this is Commodus in Gladiator, who is one of my favorite movies. Gladiator is, but like Commodus, as if he had grown up a little bit and was fast forwarded in time, and he hates himself. And I'm gonna love it so much. I'm gonna love it. Let's see. Nana asked if you saw the new TMNT. By the way, do you mean the comic or the show that's coming out? Movie.
I think he probably means Mutant Mayhem, which is a new movie that's produced by Seth Rogen, and
Oh yes.
the art style looks hideous to it. I
It
just
okay,
didn't want to.
but I did
When
see
it's
the.
on Sky, I'll watch it.
I saw a preview for it. It was good, even though I was like, "That ain't April. What the heck is wrong with you?" It did make me laugh. But Mike says Seth Rogen has the ability of being funny without saying or doing anything funny. It's very weird, my relationship with Seth Rogen. Like,
I'm sorry, I don't find his stick very funny. Weed.
Family Guy line there for you, Pete. And Cintra says, I like the art style of TMNT, I'm sure.
I think it looks like it was put together by a 5-year-old student.
It actually got me in the feels and made me laugh. If they just hadn't called the girl April, I think I would be more on board. I mean, it's clearly not April,
I don't know what they
but
were thinking.
I will say this.
Wait, I know what they were thinking. I can't exactly say it.
Yeah, let's not say that, Pete. But as far as Seth Rogen goes, the very first time I was consciously aware, because I didn't know he was like in Scream and stuff. I wasn't aware of him.
Yeah, he's very briefly in Scream.
Yeah,
To say he was in it is really something else.
he's in a few other things where he's just very brief. But I saw Knocked Up or whatever when I was like a teenager.
Oh God.
I actually liked
That film is okay, but it's like freaking 45 minutes too long.
I'm sure if I saw it nowadays, I wouldn't like it. I have not seen it since. I saw it in the theaters.
Honestly, there are some good things about Knocked Up. I can't say anything that bad about it, except
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl is just so unlikable in that movie.
She's unlikable anyway.
She's just generally is unlikable.
Yeah, she
and
is.
to be honest, after looking at about an hour of Seth Rogen's usual shtick, it's sort of really boring, especially after you've seen that exact same shtick that was had in 40-Year-Old Virgin and a few other of Judd Apatow's movies.
I was gonna say, so 40-Year-Old Virgin, which I thought I would absolutely adore. I actually didn't like it. Pineapple Express, I thought I would adore.
Pile of crap. Pile of crap.
End of what is it? The end of the world or
This is the end.
This is the end. I thought I would love that.
Right.
Didn't do anything.
Just there were some funny cameos in it, but that is literally all it was cameo the movie.
And then I absolutely agree with Mike on this. The original 80s or 90s cartoon of TMNT was the best. So let me say this. I don't know how it was for the UK. Pete, you can fill us in. But when I was a kid, I would come home from school and TMNT, the originals were already off air, but we were seeing
reruns.
So it would be TMNT, DuckTales, the one with the Baloo the bear, but it was like he was flying an airplane. I forget what that's called. So God, I wish I could remember that stupid dadgum show, but it was hilarious. And then Chip and Dale's Rescues. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
Anyway, I would come home and I would watch those. Oh, and then they would show Super Mario Power Hour. Holy crap. Which was amazing. So I would get to watch those before my mom came home. And that was like freaking... See, that's what I've done all this week, guys. I'm not kidding. I went like pure nostalgia and started watching stuff on YouTube. But let's see. Heroes in the Half Shell. Turtle Power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting teens. They're really hip. They're heroes in the half shell, and they're green. See? When the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut him no slack. The only cartoon that had a better intro was the 90s X-Men. Ooh, which I found on a VHS and used to watch over and over. 40-Year-Old Virgin was all right, according to Mike. Exactly, it had moments. It had moments that were hilarious, but overall, I was very disappointed. Let's see. Mike says,
I think it's got a good message to it.
Yes, I agree with that. At
And Steve
first,
Carell is just infinitely more likable
oh,
than any of the other characters in the
well,
film as well.
he just is by nature. At first, Judd Apatow films were all right for a laugh until you see like 3 or 4 and realize they're all basically the same film,
But
just rewritten.
there you go.
Exactly.
And that's why Seth Rogen's in every single one of them, because they are just the same.
Oh my goodness, the DuckTales. So, okay, wait, Cincho, the DuckTales in Dutch, intro in Dutch is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So, Cincho, here's what's funny. There is a guy, this is years ago, he's a YouTuber and he's like a guitarist or whatever, but he's Dutch. And so he sings like Saturday morning cartoon intros, but some of them are in American, English. I shouldn't say American. Some of them are in English and some of them are in Dutch. And they just crack me up. I don't have any idea what he's saying, but it's hilarious. But, oh my goodness. Were you thinking of Dick Dastardly and Muttley? I love Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Because I used to love the way Muttley laughs.
I always preferred Wacky Races.
Yes, Wacky Racers are great.
There was nothing wrong with Dick Dastardly and Muttley. I just think I just preferred just watching Wacky Races.
Oh, I do like Wacky Racers. And Caveman. He always
Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman.
Yeah, it's weird how many sideshows they made off of that.
Yes. Yeah, because Captain Caveman sometimes visited the Flintstones.
Yeah, Penelope Pitstop had her own show as well.
Yes, that's right. Oh, Penelope Pit. Oh, see,
I know, this is just, look,
week.
I've got to wind this up at some point. I'm tired.
Nostalgia week. I know. Let's see. Also, check out. Oh, I love Darkwing Duck. Says in the Dutch intro, "Let's get dangerous." Part. Oh, nice. I have to see that. I used to love Darkwing Duck too, and it was weird because I will say this, and then we'll wrap it up. So at the same time, I was watching Darkwing Duck. I guess reruns or whatever. Mm-hmm. They did a kind of like cow alien episode, but South Park did exactly the same thing at the same time. They did. Yeah, so I was just like, what? It blew my little homework. Yeah, exactly. I was like, it blew my little 10-year-old mind or whatever. Yeah. I was just like, what? But we are gonna wrap it up because we finally hit the 2-hour mark.
Oh, we hit more than 2 hours at this point.
Not
2
much.
hours 26.
But poor Pete is not feeling the greatest. So
it's alright. Go through.
We appreciate Pete being here. And we appreciate our
look, I love the audience, but it's always a week where I don't want it to go as long, and they just come out, make it chaos. It's great.
Hey, I've got a huge workout tomorrow, so but we thank our audience too, because our chat has just been amazing.
Been great, thank you.
Yeah, we love you guys like to death, like literally. Mike says, speaking of strange coincidences, read up on the history of Dennis. Oh, I know! Dennis the Menace in UK and US. Oh, I had a rude awakening when I came over here and saw like a Dennis the Menace, what do you call them? Annual? Ambino. I was just like, this ain't Dennis the Menace, what? And then...
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Sinjo says, get well soon, Pete. Hope you'll have a better week this time. Kylie, see you next week. And everyone. Yes! Thank you so much. This week has to
Hope you feel better as well, mate.
Oh, yeah. And your recovery and everything. But we are going to wrap it up. Also, God, my hair is really bad this week. But anyway, I just need to...
My hair doesn't look like I got out of bed.
Well, you've been sick, though, Pete.
Yeah, well, that's why I couldn't be asked.
Yeah, see, both came out at around the same time, but had no relation whatsoever. Isn't that weird, though?
Very strange, yeah.
It's very weird. I kind of want to rewatch South Park now. But, yes, that explains my confusion as a kid, right? There's a lot of confusing things. Yeah.
Far too many things.
But, chat, you guys have been amazing.
Thank you, Mike.
So much for joining us. You guys really make the show what it is. You keep us going. I cannot say enough how indebted and grateful we are to you. And that goes for both me and Pete. Normally I don't speak for Pete, but I am going to.
No, this time you are. I'm quite grateful for you doing so.
But we will definitely see you next week, where we're probably gonna have
Yeah.
another news episode because
More than
that's
likely, there's been so
what we
much
do.
to catch up on. It's just the showcases were more important this week.
Yep. Oh goodness. Cincha says we'll leave you to your paper roll now.
It's alright, I might actually get to sleep in this room tonight for the first time in
Oh.
2 nights.
Oh my gosh. Why did you
Just
just breathe better on the
sofa.
couch?
Couldn't be bothered to move. It's just
Yeah.
like, that's easy.
Pete,
I was feeling sick as well. It was just like,
say that's you're
close to the bathroom, so.
yeah, you're really sick if that's how that goes.
Yep.
Oh dear. Yeah, definitely feel better. All right, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
See you later.